Hello and welcome back to Ramblings of a Mad Guy. It's me, the Mad Guy. I'm Reese. It's me, Reese. I'm the Mad Guy. Welcome. What are we up to today? I'm getting notifications about my own stream. I need to turn off. Let's turn off all notifications for Google. That's no good. Das ist sehr schlecht. We're doing Unser Stream ist auf Deutsch, ist heute auf Deutsch. Also, what is this? What is all this? What is all this garbage? Let's cleanse our palate.
Spiritual wisdom and experience. Stories ancient and modern. From the Thebaid of Egypt and the deserts of Palestine and Syria, to the caves and cells of Mount Athos, and even beyond to the vast forests of northern Russia. These are the chronicles of the desert. When Anthony left for the desert, he visited several ascetics who lived just beyond his village to learn the best practice from each and to make them his own. In time, Anthony would be bound for the inner desert, but here, with his first steps, he armed himself for battle with a foe who prowls about like a lion seeking to devour us. Who is this? The devil must have thought, that wishes to fill the desert with such discipline. The devil aimed his first attack at Anthony's mind in an effort to lure him back home. As Anthony prayed and fasted in solitude, thoughts of the past, of the sister he left behind, of delicious foods, of glory, and of his former wealth stirred within him. Anthony did not interact with such thoughts, but rather cut them off before they took root. The devil then warned him about the future, of a withered body being the only return for many years of ascetic struggle. Anthony, his will not undone, countered with faith and the sign of the cross, and threw the devil to the ground. Now enraged, the devil went for Anthony's appetite, making loud noises at night so that Anthony could not sleep, and by day scattering the seeds of unclean thoughts and...
Alright, I'll join the Discord. Why not? I guess you get to, I guess Henry really is the, I've been invited to a voice channel. Would you look at that? Would you look at the voice channel that I've been invited to by Henry Laz, the real owner of my stream? Clowns and shiz. Alright, what you got for me, Henry Laz, the real owner of the stream, I guess?
You know, my thing is, like, I feel like you're a Christian, right?
Yeah.
If Jesus knew it was my birthday, he would send me a text saying, "Hey, Henry, happy birthday. You're a really good friend," whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I was wondering why you didn't do that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it was your birthday, to be honest. Well, Jesus doesn't forget stuff, but I do forget stuff, so I apologize. But happy birthday, Henry.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice.
Happy birthday. Was it yesterday or it was yesterday, right?
No, it was on, no, it was like the 5th.
No, it was the
It was
5th?
the day after I saw you. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said happy birthday when we hung out. I mean, that was a birthday hangout on the 5th.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So
Yeah, like,
I'm fairly certain I said it.
wasn't really my birthday, so like,
Yeah.
you didn't make me feel special enough, whereas Jesus would have.
Yes. Well, maybe if you actually
Jesus
believed in
loves-
Jesus, he
that's the
would
thing
make you
I-
feel
that's
special.
the thing I've noticed about my relationship with Jesus is like
That you don't
I
believe
don't
in
really
him.
have to do anything, and the guy loves me. Like,
True. Yeah. Makes one wonder why if you don't do anything to show it back, but
Well, I do plenty of things. I just don't do it in his name. I just but he respects the things I'm doing, and he's like, all right, even though you're not doing it for me, I fuck with the things you're doing.
Okay, and you have confirmation from Jesus on that.
Well, we spoke about it.
Oh, you did. Okay, good, good. Well, it's kind of crazy that you don't believe in Jesus, even though you spoke to him.
They definitely existed. What do you mean?
I know, but you don't. So you spoke to the historical figure Jesus.
No, I spoke to the one who was resurrected from the
Oh,
cross.
okay, so you do believe in him. Oh wow, look at that. That's nice. That's nice, Henry. You're well on your way. You should go to
Why is it
church
called clowns and shiz?
because we're going to be learning about how clowns are actually ancient Nephilim from before the flood.
Reese, that's too far. That's too far.
It's true. You think I'm lying? I'll
What
change
does
your
that
mind.
mean? What does ancient Nephilim mean? Does that mean they're devils?
Yes, clowns are demons. Remember that classic meme? Yo, guys, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff about clowns. Anyone know if these things are real?
Don't you do stand-up comedy? Are you a demon?
What? No, not people who make other people laugh. I'm saying clowns with white faces and red lips and red noses and big puffy red hair. They're modeled after ancient
This is such
demons.
a niche. This is such a niche.
Yeah, exactly. What do
Like subset of people that make people laugh, like literal clowns. How often do you see a clown? And by
Well,
the
it's
way,
because I
this
watched the
isn't a
movie
hot take.
Weapons.
People are terrified of clowns
Exactly. Why do you think they're afraid of them?
because they look scary.
Exactly. And why do you think they look scary?
'Cause
What's
they're
up, Rational
scary.
Logic? Welcome, bro. What does John Calvin say about clowns? Tell me what John Calvin's got on clowns being ancient demons.
Why would they be ancient demons though? Why wouldn't they just be like modern demons?
Well, they are modern. It's the It's the ancient demons trying to like cling to whatever they can. So now they have to like be in circuses
Why
and
does it
shit.
always have to be ancient? Why can't we assume that the devil is still alive and moves with the times?
Well, yeah,
Like why
we do.
can't we
He
be like,
does. He does.
yeah. Why can't we? What are the modern? Is Labubu the modern demon?
Labubu is. Did you see the new South Park clip?
Yeah, yeah. What's a
Labubu.
Labubu
We
unboxing
should do.
video?
Well, we will do a Labubu deep dive stream. That would actually be interesting.
I mean, it's just Chinese fucking consumerism. It's nuts.
Yeah, but why are they demons then? Like, why do they have sharp, pointy teeth and shit?
Cost to make.
It could be anything. It could be cute, but instead it's.
Labubus scare me.
Labubu scare me too, man.
I don't get it.
I want you to get together.
I want you to get together. I love this guy. I've been watching his channel. He has like 20 videos on how clowns are like the Nephilim.
Okay, that's too far. Again, you could have done one video.
Though this is the one video. You only need to watch this one video and you'll get it. But then if you want to go deeper, you can.
So have you ever heard about like Fit MC?
There is a Calvinist debate in a few hours on Standing for Truth channel. That'd be sick to check out. We'll check that out. Rational Logic. Remind me again when that comes on. That'd be sick.
Basically, do you know about Pop Bob?
Pop Bob?
That's a video we should watch.
No.
Basically, he's a notorious griefer
Something you
on the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft.
That's
said on your
dumb.
show with Sam that really blew my mind was
Play Minecraft.
how the enemy will like use costumes to channel demons. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like we're just on the other side of Halloween, and I know that's a big debate amongst Christians too. Like
What are you mumbling about? What are you
Call
mumbling
me
about?
racist. I don't want to listen to a blonde white lady with a ton of eye makeup on talk about anything that has to do with the brain.
All right, you're racist.
should we celebrate
And
Halloween?
luckily for you, she won't be talking at all for the rest of the video.
Like,
but-
is it innocent? Is it not innocent? You know, but I never really thought about that dressing like something could be an invitation for them to come like into your body. So yeah, if you just want to talk about that a little.
Sure. So this is what's known throughout most cultures as a form of ancestor spirit worship. And this is how I've described it, and this is how it's well understood to be in mainly countries that have these very old folk traditions on every continent. It's kind of the oldest tradition usually, and it's not really rooted necessarily in religions. It's rooted in like an old verbal kind of ritual that tribes have done forever.
Are you
know?
seeing all the similarities already? Like, look, everyone's got the big red lip smile. The red lips and the red nose are everywhere. The white face, the kind of sad red lip, like these are all different traditions and religions, and mostly like shamanic religions. And then you got this one here. No, I'm kidding. Look at that.
So what do you think? How does the devil do that? Like when there's like a remote tribe in Africa that's painting their face like this, are they like actively doing it because they fuck with the devil, or is the devil influencing them and they
No,
don't know
basically
it?
what happened is the devil has a legion of demons that came with him. Those
He's a legion of
demons,
skanks.
yes, exactly. Those demons
He has
bred,
the devil has Big J Okerson and Louis J Gomez
yes, those are the number one demons in his
and Dave Smith.
in Dan
but no, for
Soder.
real, like,
No, Dan
do
Soder's
they
like a
know
demon
they're
of
being-
light.
Do they know they're being devilish, or are they just like because it seems like I don't think they seem devilish. Like
It depends on the tradition. I actually have different interpretations of it. So basically, first we'll go to the Bible and we'll see this.
Well, if you're like sacrificing live animals, that's
Here we
one
go.
thing. What if you're like a Samoan doing like face tattoos? That's another. Like that doesn't seem like a bad thing.
No, it's not the tattoo itself that's bad. It's what you're invoking and why you're getting the tattoo that's bad. So now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born to them. So now we have a bunch of humans running around. That the sons of God, these are the Nephilim is the word for it, but actually, are the sons of God the Nephilim or the? Okay,
Have you seen it?
these are the demons that fell with. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, so he's one of them.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and the rest of it, and he just decided to do the flood, right? So these mighty men who are of old, men of renown, are the gods in all the different pagan religions and like shamanistic religions. And what's happening in all the, this guy's going to explain it in the video, but what's happening in all these different like various shamanistic and pagan ancient, well, not necessarily, yeah, but ancient practices is they're wearing this stuff and putting on the makeup and all the rest to invoke their gods. Now, some of them are doing it to bring their gods like into their bodies. Some of them are doing it to get like blessings from their gods. And some of them are doing it actually as like a reverse thing to try to scare away their gods because they realize that their gods are actually these evil Nephilim. And so what happens in the flood is that all the Nephilim, all these men of renown, these giants of old, get wiped out, and their spirits get locked to the DMT dimension.
Too close to Scientology. Don't like it.
No,
That was
that last one I just threw in there kind of flippantly, but that is essentially what
literally
happened.
just
So
like
their
the
spirits still
volcano
roam
erupts with
the
the
men of
spirits
renown
and
still
they fall
terrorize
apart.
the earth. What's that?
That's literally Scientology.
No, it's not.
The volcano erupts and like the spirits go out.
Yeah,
and,
but is that what I said?
It was a little bit too similar for my taste.
Okay, well, I'm glad your taste is so refined that you know what can and can't happen exactly. But, well, also, it would make sense that Scientology would get, like, one minor detail here and there, right? Because it literally is just an amalgamation of a bunch of different stuff. But also, that detail, the way that their volcano thing works is just totally wrong. But, because then that means that that our souls are really these physical aliens that, like, were spiritualized by Xenu or whatever the hell. Like, that makes no sense. This makes sense, though, that there's a race of half angel, half men people that God decides to wipe out because they're all evil. And then their souls don't enter other people's bodies and become other people. They just get trapped, kind of.
Passage that gave our forefathers the excuse to be racist. guys.
Exactly.
It's-
And so because we have racism,
They have small amount of black in them. They are evil.
because we
God
have
extinguished them
racism,
for being half evil. If you are half black, you are half evil.
That's right. And because there are clowns, there are black people. So, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, what's going to be fascinating about this is the similarity of the ancestors that are all being worshipped in these tribes and how they all look like clowns. And then we're going to get to where the clown tradition comes from in Western culture, which is fascinating.
You don't think you ever look like a clown?
And I've never looked like this. I've never looked like...
Yeah, but like overall, you've looked like a clown.
You keep using clown in a way that I'm not meaning it to be. Yes, I've looked like a fool. I've looked like...
Yeah, like you clowned. You've clowned around.
Yeah, but I've never invoked the spirit of, like, a demon. That's what I'm talking about.
And what they often dress like.
Is Steve-O... So Steve-O graduated from Barnum and Bailey Clown College.
Well, that would explain why he's so fucked up then.
All these different cultures.
Because he's like trying to do good at least, you know, he's like vegan.
Is he?
And I don't know, he has an animal sanctuary, he's vegan. He's
that's
sober.
good. That's good. I guess you don't, I mean, he probably hasn't sold his soul entirely over to the clowns, the DMT clowns.
Joe Rogan has, on the other hand. We should just watch Joe Rogan.
We will. Joe Rogan's going to get brought into this because he's seen the DMT jesters.
Okay. Jesus Christ. That was when Joe was fun. That was when Joe was... Someone needs to bring Joe a bottle of DMT and have him be fun again.
Someone needs to put this guy on Joe Rogan's podcast and he'll really start flipping.
I agree. However, the main thing is, like, Joe is... I can't stand Joe at this point.
You can't stand him? Why?
Oh, I just, like... He just doesn't ask any profound questions, just listens to what everyone says. He doesn't understand when people are lying to him. Like, it's nuts.
Fair enough. Okay, let's get back to Clown Nephilim.
As I've shown in my series, is they have a very similar thread weaving through. And it's usually... they white the skin up with some kind of chalk or paint. They add red lines or patterns or polka dots to the skin. They put on some kind of red feathered headdress or anything to make the hair look dark or red or some kind of multicolored. A huge golden crown with many embellishments all over it is common as well. And they wear extremely colourful psychedelic clothing. Now, what I've pretty much described there is a clown by a Western standard, but they all have their own stylistic, aesthetical differences, culturally relevant to each individual area. So, you know, they're talking about the same creatures they call ancestor spirits, because what they're referring to is not ancestors as we, with the English language, would consider that word to be. That's just kind of the only word we have for it, but it's not really what they mean. They don't mean grandma or granddad or your great uncles and aunties from the 1800s or something like that. They mean the ancient ones, the ones who built their culture and civilization that go way back. You know, the ones who built everything that they consider their worldview or structure, the creators of their reality. The Nephilim, the ancient kings and rulers, the only spirits, as I explained earlier, that are actually on the other side for them to channel. The disembodied spirits of the Nephilim from the biblical perspective. But they call them their ancestors. So like I said, they all dress in the same way. Like a clown in some level of... They all have their own levels of doing that. So that's one way of doing it. They dress like the thing to channel the thing. That is pretty much the most powerful, common used way of doing it. One really obvious example, which I think a lot of people will know about, is Haiti, the Vodou culture in Haiti. They dress like something called Baron Samedi, and it's a particular Iwa or god of their pantheon, the father god or the son of the father god, Papa Legba. And it comes from an ancient African ancestor spirit worship culture, which went over to Haiti and then mixed with like French Catholicism and Freemasonry. So it became this very strange looking ritualistic thing where they specifically dress like these Iwas to channel them in order to gain strength, power, and fortune. And the famous image is the cane, top hat wearing, skull-faced man with a cigar and some whiskey. Now, they drink the whiskey and smoke the cigar because that's what the demon enjoys having. That's their offering to them. And they do it with the sole intention to be possessed by the spirit of Baron Samedi. And they're open about it. They tell you that's what we're doing this for. But in quite a lot of culture.
And then people are like, all religions are the same. I mean, that's insane. The actual point of it is to be possessed by a guy named Baron. Might as well just be a lifelong follower of Baron Trump. Try to get possessed by
I
him.
was gonna say, imagine being his wife. That's what it is.
I just want to be possessed by Baron.
They have this other thing. It's called apotropaic.
I'd much rather
That's
Sam
where
Hyde
you just
videos talking about this sort of thing.
What's that?
Let me see. Can I pull up a Sam Hyde video where he's talking about demons so we can watch that instead?
Yeah, for sure. Not instead, but after, yeah.
describe this.
Or maybe in between, in case more people want to join and learn about clown Nephilim. If you can find it, send it over.
And it's the idea that you can dress like the thing to scare it away or to ward bad spirits off. You dress like them to confuse them or something like that. And the video I'm making currently goes into this heavily and shows a lot of these Eastern cultures who believe that they're doing this to scare away the spirits. I contend that's just stupid. That does not make any sense. Dressing like a demon in the physical realm is not going to scare away a demon in the physical realm. Give them some credit. They're not that stupid. Like we said earlier, they are thousands of years old. I do think there's a bit of a long con going on here. I think this is the idea that if we can convince these cultures that they have any form of control over us, then it keeps them thinking they have a level of power, therefore we can stick around, and we'll pretend to be scared away, so then they can keep dressing like us and keep those channels open. I think that's really what's going on, and I've had a few messages where people from these cultures are getting offended at me saying these things. And it's not like I'm not trying to cause offense by saying this, but it just seems like obvious from my opinion, from my perspective and my research, because there are plenty of these other cultures who do dress like demons with the sole purpose to be possessed by them. They're not scaring anything away. So why would it suddenly scare them away just in a different culture when they're all representing in their dress the exact same creatures? Because you can see the aesthetical similarities across all of them. So getting back to the modern Western clown, you'll find that this comes out of a long tradition of performing clowns known as the Commedia dell'arte movement that came out of Italy. Now, this performing
I've
troupe
seen that,
through
yeah.
the Middle Ages up
The
into the
private Labubu collection.
1600s.
Okay,
I know, I just wanted to watch that. But
so Clown Nephilim, I feel like, is being wasted on you. You don't even care. I mean, even though this is incredibly, groundbreaking
Oh, wow,
stuff.
I don't care about Clown Nephilim.
Well, I mean,
Wow,
come on. What, you never thought about why clowns are scary to so many people?
Talk about demons.
Why they're in every horror movie? Well, the reason this came up was because I was watching Weapons. Okay, have you seen it?
Scary. Oh my God, what are you?
No, but why would they be
look
scary?
scary.
Their purpose is never to be scary. Their purpose is to make you laugh.
Because
Like
they look scary,
stated
bro.
purpose.
It's like how my brother started crying during the live Lion King when he was 4.
Okay, well,
You're
our
not supposed to cry
grown men
when they
are
come down the aisles and start dancing, but he was young and it scared him.
yeah, but grown men are scared of clowns. That
Google
not-
search what the Lion King dancers in
I know what they
IRL
look like.
musical.
I know
You know what they look like?
Yeah. And these people are invoking the spirits of the great lions from
Look
before
at
the
Lion King
flood.
Broadway,
And they're
Broadway.
yeah.
Because they do look scary to my little brother.
No, I mean, they are black people. Yeah.
Oh, look. See?
Yeah, that's pretty clown-like, actually. That's very clownish. Maybe these people are Nephilim. Most of it is pretty normal. They're just trying to be lions.
Look at that little thing. It's just a fucking doll.
Yeah, the doll is weird. No, look, I'm not saying it's not scary for a 4-year-old. I'm saying people that are grown, rational adults are afraid of clowns. And you'd go, well, why is that? They're just silly, circus freaks. They're not any more or less scary than the bearded lady or something like that. And yet clowns are in every single horror movie as the villain. And, it turns out that form and image is actually what these ancient demons looked like. I mean, come
There
on.
are not that many horror movies as the villain.
Well, that is where you're wrong.
No, it's not. Name one besides it.
Weapons.
That just came out.
I know. Have you seen it?
No.
It's really good. You gotta watch it. It's really,
Name
really
one
good.
besides Weapons.
I want to find
You can name 2. It's not every.
what? Oh,
You can name
more.
2
You want
off
more
the top.
horror movies with clowns? Okay, fine.
You're Googling now. I'm saying
Yeah.
off the top of our head. You said so many. It's this common thing. There's 2 One of them very recently came out.
There's tons, dude. You don't think clowns are...
There's not tons if you can't name them off the top of your head. I don't disagree.
I don't
with
watch a
your
lot of
point.
horror movies.
Like, generalizations, like clowns are taking over. It's like, not really.
Stitches, Clowns,
It's like a
Circus
comic
Kane,
book and telling you
Terrifier,
super common.
Bedeviled.
They've made more alien movies than they made clown movies.
Not alien horror.
Alien's scary.
Yeah. But even regardless, well, the interesting thing about the clowns too is how they entered our sphere, European Western culture. So we used to have our version of the fool or the clown or whatever, like what they merged. So the image of the clown is this demon, and the role of the clown is this like court jester kind of thing. Well, the court jester used to be dressed in kind of like black and white, and looked more like a mime. And mimes aren't scary. People don't use mimes in horror movies. Nobody's afraid of a mime. They might be a little bit like, they might find it funny. Like, what is that freaky mime doing? But what happened was there's this Masonic guy in like the 1850s who is traveling to India and all around. And I don't know if you know about like Freemasons and Hermeticism and the kind of wacky religion that they practice, but essentially the whole thing is based on channeling the esoteric wisdom and energies of these ancient demons, of these world religions, shamanistic cultures and stuff like that, in order to increase their own like power and wealth, etc., etc. So this guy's dad was a famous playwright.
We need to watch the Joker video I sent to you.
The Joker video. It's not gonna be easy for me to pull up texts.
Well, you can just Google what the
Okay, I'll yeah, it'd be easier if you send them in the Discord, but I will do that. So first we'll do my Joker performance.
Wanna know how I got these scars?
Oh,
Well, I'm the Joker, baby.
oh no.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Hello, beautiful.
No, my goodness.
I'm the Joker,
What
baby.
is this?
Screams.
This is frightening. Oh, look, wait, by the way, another clown.
Yeah, I know. I brought it up though. You couldn't even think of it. And by the way, it's not a horror clown.
Yeah, but he's obviously the scariest character.
You look nervous.
Because it's
Is it the
real.
scars?
Harley Quinn.
Wanna know how I got them?
I'm
Well,
the Joker, baby.
I had a wife who was beautiful, just like all of you.
I'm the
Who
Joker,
tells
baby.
me I worry too much.
It always
Who tells
goes
me
downhill.
I ought to smile more. Who gets in deep and gambles with sharks? One day.
He does scare me.
He's a little scary. I would not be going to this school anymore if I witnessed this. Okay, now
Yeah,
I
I
am
would
kind
be
of
too.
interested in the Sam Hyde.
Imagine walking by. I would not walk past that man in the hallway.
Tinkering with
Walk-
demonic, forbidden knowledge, and dark arts. Sam Hyde. Let's see what these guys got to say. Sam Hyde is a Christian, by the way. I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, I don't know.
But he's doing it for his. I'm doing it for my daughter.
For my daughter.
Doing it for my daughter.
I was thinking today about demons.
Oh, Jay
'cause there's
Dyer
this
commented.
short
That's
story
hilarious.
It's unbelievable. It's Guile of Sphere from the Dying. I think that's from the Dying Earth book. I think it's the Dying Earth book. Man, it's super dark. It's so crazy. It's darker than like, maybe it's not as dark as Event Horizon, but it's pretty dark. There's a museum of like human knowledge at the end of the peak of civilization. They built this one like epicenter, like basically a Library of Congress type thing, like
A Smithsonian.
the Smithsonian, like the epicenter of human knowledge. Like if humans knew it, it's in this building. And thousands of years later, just because it's not explicitly said, but I think it's implied that because that's the presence of human knowledge, like that's the center of our
existence.
What's the tree of knowledge, like the sort of evil that comes along with information? Like information is in the Bible, it starts with Adam taking a bite of the forbidden fruit, which is knowledge. Okay, so this that's that correct? That's what happens, right? You read
Knowledge ill-gotten, knowledge stolen without experience is what's evil. But yeah,
the Bible, right? You're a holy man, Joey.
Yeah.
Okay, Joseph,
Do you
biblical
think
name right there.
devils would look pretty? I feel like they'd be pretty.
the devils will be what?
If devils like existed in our world, they'd be pretty because they'd want to entice us.
Yeah, well, they can change their bodily form, their image, to be sexually attractive or pretty or something like that. But their real form is hideous and grotesque and monstrous. But you know this because...
Girl, that's devil, right?
What's that?
I googled hot girl.
Yeah, if you devil hot girl, that is devil. And honestly, if you Google, if you're on Pornhub, every single one of those videos is a demonic reenactment. It's created. It's created for the purpose of temptation and lust. So demons manifest, and probably the devil himself, but probably the succubus as well, manifest an entire website like Pornhub. So if you find anything attractive on Pornhub, then you're finding demons attractive. Not that the actors themselves are demons. The actors are obviously people who have fallen into this like great sin. But
the camera is like
the person operating, the boom mic and the fluffer are the demons. No, I'm kidding. The boom operator.
I have a couple jokes that if I ever got to kill Tony, they're just to goad people into saying something. It's like the joke where I'm like, yeah, I just got fired from my job. You know, the people that do the lighting and sound on porn shoots?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're at a trading card store.
I know, I've heard you do that joke. That's like a joke.
I also like to say I would like to say on stage, yeah, I'm queer. And then someone says, "What? So you're gay?" And I'm like, "Ew, no." I'm queer.
I'm queer. I'm not gay. That's what people do these days. People actually do that. Okay.
I think Hezekiah Isaac brought shepherd on
7 grains. Anyway, so this center of human knowledge, a demon forms underneath it, and holy, it's just the way that I'm not going to be able to describe in a book what's so horrific about this demon. But the nearby village sacrifices its most beautiful male and female inhabitants like once a year for this demon to like flay alive and like with.
So it's a big head.
It's a giant head
in the wall.
And it's trying to pry its way into our world.
Cool.
That's so fucking.
I wonder what that's. Yeah. That's. I wonder when that's gonna start happening.
I think it already
soon.
Happened. It's Little St. James. I think is where it's at. I do agree with Charles on this that you are like the machine elves and shit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's the. I'm not gonna say. I don't know what the fuck they are. I'm not gonna say they're demons.
They're Nephilim.
I've never seen one. I have no idea what they are. But if there were real demons that were trying to get through to this world via tripping,
take this.
I wouldn't be surprised.
100%.
It holds up with with all the evidence that I've seen. I think there's something about tinkering and seeking knowledge that is, if you don't do it in moderation, I think it will destroy you.
It's this drive. It's the entire Masonic, like, hermetic, sort of kabbalistic, esoteric seeking of knowledge. It's like, it's literally
also like not believing anything. You know,
what's that?
Like, it's like the people that don't believe anything, and then they come to one. Like, it's like the flat Earth people. They don't believe anything.
Right.
You know? It's one thing.
It's wanting knowledge for free with no experience, without earning it. It's like stealing knowledge. And of course, if you steal knowledge and you didn't actually gain it through like proper means, through your own bettering and work and stuff like that, then you have no idea what it means, no idea what to do with it, and you'll be subject to misusing it and being misused by it, especially when there's...
I think if you're gaining any knowledge, you can do it legitimately. I think it's when you're gaining It's not what we know that hurts us. It's not what's true that hurts us. It's what we think is true that just isn't. You know.
No, true. I think that's a good point. Yeah. And what I mean by that, by gaining knowledge, I mean like, okay, I'm gonna take DMT and suddenly I'll know the secrets of the universe. When instead, if you actually want to know the quote unquote secrets of the universe, instead of taking DMT, you can be taking the Eucharist.
DMT.
No, I was thinking you can take the body and blood of Christ is the only substance you need to understand everything you need to understand. You don't need DMT.
Disagree. Also read the Torah.
Yeah, you could read the Torah, but that's not going to give you everything unless you also have the gospel.
You could no, it gives you enough. You could also read
What does the Torah give you? That's enough.
You die and you hang out with your boys, dude. You go to heaven, there's no hell.
The Torah doesn't say that.
Yeah, it does.
The Torah just talks about Sheol, which is like a mix. It's like hell, but it's not so bad, and it's like heaven, but it's not good at all. It's like actually more like Hades, really.
You have heaven.
You have heaven in the Torah? Where? How, really?
In Genesis.
Where?
God created the heavens and the earth, dumbass.
That's talking about the stars and the planets, dumbass.
Oh, take it however you want to take it. I take it as crazy.
No, like literally the translation is like they're talking about the stars.
You don't know
the heavens. What's that?
You don't know that. That's such
okay,
cap.
what is the Hebrew term for heavens in Genesis? Actually, let's do an interlinear reading. Okay, let's go to Genesis. Genesis 1:1. Here we go. Perfect. The earth and the heavens, Hasamayim.
We believe in heaven. All right, I get a quick Google. We believe in heaven. It's just different beliefs based on like what you think. You can think different things. There's no like heaven. There's no like one answer. But yeah, we have a general belief in it.
Okay. That's cool. I'm just gonna do
like hell and purgatory. It's like a general belief in those two things, but no real specific thing. I don't think it's or no general belief in hell, rather purgatory or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Whatever. Who cares? They're all just a bunch of old Jews with beards. Damn, it's already 1. You gonna come to the store tonight?
Probably not. Oh no, I actually can't. I have jam in the van tonight.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah.
How do I get a job? You think you can get me a job there?
No, I can barely get myself a job there.
What do you mean? I bartend. You can't get me behind the bar?
Well, they just have a lot of people that already work behind the bar, so I don't know how. I mean, you could ask Austin.
I will ask Austin.
It's not even Austin though. It's like Austin also just kind of works there, but maybe he could get you a job. I don't know. Okay, we'll continue with this a little bit.
Can you look up
the qualifications? And they need to start serving actual drinks.
They do for the shows, just not at the mic.
Well, obviously, but that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is they should have a bar set up. They need to figure that out.
The problem is the liquor license is really expensive. It's cheaper just to do it show by show.
That's fine, but you still can set up a bar.
They have a bar.
No, I mean a bar set up with bottles and drinks being made rather than just the cans they sell.
All right, fair enough.
YouTube,
That's my
Christopher
point.
Lee.
You'd make more money.
Talking-
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Talking about black arts.
This is a classic.
Black arts.
Yeah.
His experience with black magic and
I think
it makes you go crazy.
I think some people don't click it yet. I think that some people are the only people who come out of that sort of journey of knowledge seeking and have some semblance of humanity left are the ones that are left to warn people not to do it. Let's click this guy right here.
Up in the back there? It's well known that you have a huge interest in the occult and one of the largest collections of books.
I don't have a huge collection. Somebody wrote I had 20,000 books.
That's funny.
I'd have to live in a bath.
This shit's funny.
I'd have to live in a bath. What were you saying something, Henry?
That's Count Dooku.
Yeah. Good observation. And also the evil white wizard, right? I mean, he has played a lot of kind of occult, like dark characters. He's great at that. But
Yeah, he's great at that. Yeah.
I'm willing to bet he was or is some kind of like Freemason type guy. That would be my guess. It looks like he might have been, based on the title of this video, like he might have been scared off it in a way. Thank God.
I bet you.
Hey Chris, you ever see any shit?
Hit pause.
Maybe 4 or
He's probably about to say something. He's gearing up to say something serious, and people are like, "What a clever turn of phrase from the old British gentleman." This is going on Reddit shower thoughts today. Hit play.
He's thinking about being in hell.
Yeah.
I have The Devil Rides Out, first edition, signed to me by Dennis Wheatley. There's a book just come out about him called The Devil is a Gentleman.
The devil actually comes to
And
he controls me with a bunch of levers, and this was
Yes.
my dream. This is what I first wrote about in the first Cream album. Basically, it was my idea that it would be a giant robot, and it was stolen from me, this idea, and turned into the Lion King.
Lol.
When I first played Count Dooku, I wanted a curved lightsaber because my penis was so curved.
Yes. Okay, we get it.
I remember that one.
All right.
I
I'm doing Come Town. I'm doing
have
Come Town.
met
They said to me,
people
"Christopher,
claim
your penis
to
is
be
so curved."
Satanists
And I said, yes.
who
Similar
claim
to my light.
to be involved with black magic, who claim
Black men. I had sex with so
they-
many black men.
All right. I get
not
it.
only knew a lot about it, but as I said, I've certainly never been
The
involved in
main
that.
difference between
Warm
black and
or
white
real.
magic is very
Never,
interesting.
never.
Black magic
You will
involves
not
Hennessy.
only lose your mind.
Yeah,
lose
I know, and I could see the punchline coming from 25 miles away. But that's very good.
Black magic involves much more Hennessy, whereas white magic you will use Grey Goose.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Yes, white magic, black magic. The black magic isn't allowed at the country club is the difference between
Yes,
black
of course.
magic and
So-
white.
so-
Don't even get me started on Jewish magic.
The Jews are not allowed in the country club.
I don't have a big library in the account. No.
Close out.
I know, these,
He seems like he's pretty serious.
Yeah.
I don't think people. I mean, I don't think people know what the fucking game they're playing, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they think it's like a. I think the gate. You know.
I think there's certain things you're not supposed to tinker with.
It's just that knowledge. There's certain systems of knowledge that if you wrap your head around thoroughly enough, it makes a home in your mind for a demon to reside in.
Hell yeah.
So
100%.
there's danger in many ways of the accumulation of knowledge that is not wisdom. What he just said is wisdom. The accumulation of knowledge is not the same thing as wisdom. It's just things that could make you lose your mind or make you crazy and it put a demon inside of you.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on with like. You want to hear something crazy that I heard? And I'm almost scared to tell you people about it. I'm not even kidding you. I'm
Is
not trying to-
Nick's mic cutting out? Is that? You're just messing with the buttons? Okay.
Jews are trying to silence Nick Rochefort.
A buddy of mine
You can hear something out of his mind.
that I used to go to school with.
I
worked
love their
at,
set, by the way. I've always loved their. I want a podcast studio like this. That's so
The cold,
awesome.
the set I like more, I think, is. Have you seen the Cold One set?
Nah, but cool.
Cold One's Max. and
Anyway, I
Fred.
know-
It's like you would like it. Great set. Let me pull up a photo of it.
Sweet.
Guy who worked at Fidelity. He left the office at 5 o'clock one night,
Oh, a guy who worked at Fidelity.
and
Does work at Fidelity.
the doors were all wide open, right? They usually play like 92 Pro FM across the office at like, at night. And he came downstairs because he worked late, and he left the office, and the doors were wide open, and there was screeching bird sounds playing through the fucking speakers. And the doors were like purposefully like in like a huge office building, and it was freezing. Like deliberately open. Yeah. That's weird. And he was like, "Dude, this is like the most demonic shit I've ever." It was like demonic looking.
When was this?
Like 3 weeks ago.
What the fuck?
Yeah. This is like it was weird. And they're like their number, Fidelity's like telephone line is like 666.
No way.
What time? What time was it? Like midnight?
It
or
was
something?
it was like 8.
Oh, at night?
Like where they, like That's fucking weird, dude. It like creeped me out a lot. I was like, Jesus Christ.
The fuck?
Made me feel like I'm gonna get a fucking visit from a Suburban. Do you ever hear anything like that?
No, but when I crashed Chelsea Clinton's thing, there were black Tahoes following me for like an hour after.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I could have ran him off the road though. But your take is that you suspect that that the powers that be somehow this is part of the plan, that they're going to flip it.
I assume it's part of the plan because the powers that be have no names and they're not of this world. So it's hard to assume that these things that, I mean, look, I'm just theorizing, but if they're taking DMT, they're talking to the jesters on the other side. These things are, I mean, this is just speculative, but these things are, alive for 1,000,000 years or something like that. Like these, I just don't assume the overlords that are strong enough to conquer a world make mistakes. But that's what I'm down with logic too. I kind of enjoy how things are kind of seesawing a little bit.
Well, when I start to suspect that, what I think is, why is their domination not more complete?
It's just to create a world.
Because God is good. Because the victory's been won. That's why it can't be complete. And because evil always eats itself. Evil is it's a negative force that will even consume its own body.
World of happy slaves is necessary. Like, it can't always be a fighting thing. You have to get people to be down with it and then happy with it. Otherwise, they don't cooperate, and you straight up have to kill them. You can't corral them. That's what it seems like to me. Like how everyone's down with everything in Hollywood and even taxes and stuff like that. Plane tickets, paying for gas forever, the space project, frickin' the budget, trillions of dollars. It just if you get people down with that and you make their lives so miserable they don't even have time to think of how bad their life is. It seems like that's more of an infallible plan than outright like brutality or military force. That's just how I assume that these Bible things work, because it's been going on for a couple thousand years, allegedly.
I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense too. Chris, can you go to YouTube and type in "slice of life"?
Imagine if they were harvesting
slice of life.
The world is this state of disarray and iniquity and whatever. Not that that's all it is, but it is. Satan is the king of the earthly realm. And you don't have to be religious.
He's the prince of this world
to believe in all this stuff. It's clear that like evil triumphs on Earth
currently.
No, in general, and it's not in every aspect. It's not like in your relationship with your child or whatever. But in general, like the material world is one that is
It gives into the sins.
It's not the ideal state of things. Okay, and we know this for various reasons. That's what it is. So there is an ideal state to things, and that's why art that is beautiful just for beauty's sake. That's why it's good, is because it is something from this like higher state of order where things are the way that they should be, or it reaches for it. It reaches for it in a way that's like
through the technique and the medium,
through the technique and through what it is, like the image, like how beautiful it is. It reaches for this higher state, and it reminds the viewer to reach for it as well.
Around the street, it's like the end of Babylon 5. Remember the end of that? It like advanced humanity comes, and they consider the case closed, and they destroy the whole galaxy or destroy Earth.
Is that in season 5?
Yeah. It was pretty devastating to watch, actually.
I wonder if they were playing fantasy football. They walk
Maybe
in.
I shouldn't
What
have
the
brought it
fuck
up.
is this silly billy shit?
Devastating. Yeah.
Well, nice. Good stuff by Sam Hyde and the crew. Picking up on the demonic entities.
$89 to go to a Dan Soder show.
Well, that's a great deal.
When it became
balcony
popularized
at the Dan
again.
Soder show, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I do
maybe.
like Dan.
Maybe not. Dan
Theatre
Soder's pretty funny though.
Was allowed during that Renaissance period and that revival of artistry. You'll find they had these stock characters, and one of them was called Harlequin. Harlequin was picked up through the medieval period and added as a stock character by the 16th century. Because it represented the wild man
Harley
of
Quinn,
Europe.
yeah, exactly.
That's where they picked it up, because they were traveling from every country in Europe out of Italy, and they discovered So they all have this ancient ancestor worship tradition where they dress up like a huge, hairy animal monster thing with sharp teeth and a huge club.
Sasquatch, anyone?
That's their version of ancestor spirit worship, of channeling or warding away the demons. You know, that's their version. So they incorporated Harlequin based off the French version of the wild man called Helikins, and they added it into their troupe. And that's where we get Harlequin, the first proto-clownish demonic character. And then that through the 1700s to the 1800s, it progressed into the UK, and it became a part of the theatre of the United Kingdom through pantomime. And then, through the pantomime, you had the British clown, which was very different from the French clown, the Poirot, the basic white-garbed, black pom-poms, very sad figure. It was the British clown was more loutish and loud and like a bit of a drunk, a bit of a fool, a clodhopper, you know, falling over all the time. The comedy came from him being foolish and silly. And by this point, Harlequin wasn't what he used to be. Harlequin used to be that character who was foolish and silly and evil and vicious and tricking people and being mischievous, you know. But by this point, he was kind of a boring character who was just always chasing after this woman called Columbine. So there was a void the demon character needed to come back.
Wait a second. It's all coming together.
Clown took that place in the British pantomime. So there was a role switch. So Clown embodies the character of the original Harlequin, who is based off of the wild man tradition of Europe, the ancestor spirit worship tradition, who venerate the Nephilim. So, in a historical sense, he is literally a representation of a demon. Like, that just goes without me saying. That's what he embodies in the way he acts. That's who he's based off of historically throughout Europe. But there was a costume change done in the 1800s by a shady family called the Dibdins. So Charles Dibdin was a renowned member of the Leicestershire Lodge, number 2426 or something like that. He was actually a very famous musician of that time period. He was kind of one of the most famous media moguls of the time. He wrote so many plays and songs which were sung by the British sailors in the military. He kind of was equated with being the most important musician of the time because he kept the morale up for the wartime sailors and they sang his songs on the boats, and he kind of was equated with being a brilliant man who helped bring our country to victory type of person, you know. But he had a son by the same name called Charles Dibdin Jr., and he headed up the Sadler's Wells Theatre of that time, where the clown and this whole performance was happening. And he kind of hijacked the show. He came in and he said, you know, I'm going to change everything. And this has never been done before, by the way. This is a brand new thing in the 1800s. You know, for hundreds of years, the characters have dressed the same. They've always done the same things. Nothing's changed for centuries. But this son of a Freemason comes along and says, I'm going to change all the costumes. And he basically changes the way the clown dresses, which used to be a boring, white, plain, nothing servant rag, into this psychedelic, monstrous-looking, fractal, multicolored thing with the crazy wigs. And it was such a bizarre change. There was no reason to do that, necessarily. You know, it's a huge jump from boring, plain servant rags to extremely psychedelic, monstrous-looking clown imagery with polka dots everywhere. It was just, where was this inspiration coming from? And you'll find, you know, he did a lot of traveling around India for a long time in that area, and so did his father, you know, and you know, the Freemasons are traveling men. That's what they do. They travel around and they pick up a thing or two and establish their lodges all over the place. And I think they would have witnessed a lot of this ancestor spirit worship in the Indic regions in Indonesia, let's say. And I think that's where he got the inspiration for his costumes. Because if you look at the demons and their representations all throughout that region, they look identical to the very first clown costumes. They're wearing the same ritualistic garb and the similar face makeup. So it seems like this son of a Freemason inserted into the most popular artistic form of that time, the theatre, a demon on stage to be venerated. And from that day, that image of a clown was picked up by everyone else. It became the standard. And the demon was inserted into the media that day through an idol known as Joseph Grimaldi, who performed the clown brilliantly. People loved his character. They were obsessed with him. He was a rock star of the day, and he was constantly dressed like a demon, and people idolized him. So other clowns who wanted to be clowns mimicked his dress and the way he looked. He's often equated with being the father of modern clowns, the guy who invented the clown, He wasn't, though. He was just a patsy used to don the costume designed by a son of a Freemason who mimicked it from these ancestor spirit cult worshippers in the East.
Creepy.
And he just brought it onto the stage. So it can be traced historically, but it's not talked about. I've kind of uncovered all this, and I'm trying to show it.
What's up?
There's a demonic video if you want to watch it.
Yeah. Link it. Send it to me.
Here, I'm gonna share it. Copy link, and then I'll send it on Discord. Should I send it? Not memes. General.
No, we're not. I'm not watching this. What the hell?
It's a critical video. It's critical.
That doesn't make it any better.
It's gonna be a white guy talking for most of it.
Yeah, I had no idea this existed. Call me naive, I suppose.
Bleeds, and I sense more women are synced up now more than ever, so drop a rose if you're bleeding too.
This is
not gonna lie, that was a crazy hook. I'm free bleeding in the stuff, but not like the quantity that she's expressing here.
What's that?
You skip all of it. Apparently there was a hook. That was crazy.
A what? A hug?
Oh, a hook. Like, you're skipping what he's talking about. This seems demonic, does it not?
Yeah, it
It's like
does.
a fucking
But I'm not
crime
interested
scene
in
or something.
criticals.
And a reminder that your blood is not an inconvenience. It's actually one of the most magical gifts in the entire world.
Oh, wow. Is
Whatever
it?
you experience before your bleed, in luteal,
Why are we-
when
what-
you feel like you're moving through different emotions,
What
different
is-
challenges, gets to come out through your blood.
Oh my
You get to die
goodness.
every month and be reborn through your blood. And the earth,
That's insane.
War.
because you are that
You don't want
powerful.
to listen to what
And I
Charlie
know.
has to say?
What's that?
You don't want to listen to what Charlie has to say?
Not really. Like, what is he gonna talk about for 4 minutes about all this?
I don't know. That you've skipped over all of it.
All right, we'll see. We'll get a quick taste of critical. His videos are good, but like, usually I just skip to the things, the things he's talking about.
See that's on its period, or like have sex with girls on their period because it's divinity that I'm touching with my wiener. I get in there and there's like that period blood. Ugh. And then his sidekick loser who's like, yeah, I'd have sex with a girl on her period. If I'm afraid to get my sword a little bloody, then I'm not a good knight. And it's not like exclusive to just those douchebags' perspectives. Apparently, like it's somewhat of a common thing on TikTok.
What's up, Numenon? Human. Like David Human. We ain't clowns, we're the whole circus, man. Yeah. That's like what these ladies, that's what these period ladies are talking about. Man, we're the whole circus. We're divine. We're syncing up. Like synchronicities. As a strong, independent black woman, that video was immensely helpful. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't know how strong, independent black women actually get through the day without these types of reminders.
Right now, during this
Feed
eclipse
is
portal,
live.
during this
Sumo
last
wrestling
half of
right now.
2025, during forever, your time on Earth is to offer your blood back to the Earth. Why?
Oh my goodness.
Because your blood has the ability to end war.
Whoa, really?
It has codes and instructions for the Earth to
It has
reprogram
codes and
the
instructions
collective
for
grid.
the
And I
Earth
know
to
that sounds
reprogram
powerful,
the
and I know that
grid.
sounds like a lot, because it is.
What kind of fucking anime plotline
seen
is
Spinal
that?
Tap?
Your period blood.
Yeah, I've seen Spinal Tap.
Alright, good.
Yeah, what's up, human? Okay, Numenon, you're gonna be interested in this. Henry is not
Pull
being.
up speed stream. Pull up speed stream.
No, definitely not. You're gonna be interested in this, Numenon. Clowns are Nephilim. We spent this whole video understanding why that is. Basically, you can see if we just kind of. These are all the shamanistic sort of pagan religions, and they all have very similar features. The red lips, the big smile, the big creepy smile. Most of them have a red nose too. There's the red hair of a clown, like it. And so basically all of these images that pervade the entire pagan world, what they're worshiping are what they call the ancestor spirits, which we understand to be the Nephilim. And then how do clowns become this kind of like staple of Western horror and Western culture? Through these Freemasons that were traveling around trying to invoke esoteric wisdom and powers. And this one in particular is like, okay, let's start invoking the Nephilim into our plays and into our like they have a cultural sort of archetype of the jester, the court jester, and it used to just kind of be white and black and kind of boring. And then this guy was like, oh, let's make them actual demons.
It was such a bizarre change. There was no reason to do that necessarily.
And so that's why we get movies like Weapons and like It, where you have a very direct relationship between the clown and the demon. And so understanding that clowns are demonic by nature helps us understand why everyone's so afraid of clowns when they're supposed to be goofy and silly, and how they become an object of horror when they're supposed to be something in a circus or something. And actually the Ringling Brothers and P.T. Barnum, they're Freemasons. So you have to wonder if they know exactly what they're doing. And P.T. Barnum has the famous cynical quote of a sucker's born every day, right? And that's what the whole circus is based off of, basically suckering people out of their money by invoking demons. I actually watched a clown horror movie called The Terrifier. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I mentioned that one earlier.
That's exactly, yeah, look at this. Boom, boom. Slasher flick. Oh, look how creepy he is.
Sam just uploaded a video called Black Trans Lives Matter.
Well, that's great. That is good for Sam. So, yeah, then we're going to get into Weapons and how that relates, if I can find, like,
and this is called that translates to upside down demon.
On this for a while.
And it's always depicted doing a handstand with its head turned up, looking directly at the person.
They tap into the uncanny feeling you get in a nightmare. Well, that's the other thing. So nightmares are one thing, but also, like, a large number of people that do DMT and break through into that, like, sort of DMT dimension or whatever you want to call it, they see this recurring figure, the jester, and it's usually very scary. It's usually very aggressive. It's a trickster. It wants to fool you and make you feel like a fool. And the idea is that the spirits of these Nephilim still exist, and they still exist in this kind of psychedelic two-dimensional reality. And then people are taking DMT and they're like, oh, I'm going up in dimensions. I'm like, these powerful spirits are talking to me and stuff like that. It's like, no, you are more powerful.
Why doesn't God make the spirits fuck off?
He will. That's part of the plan. But they're here for now for a purpose. What's that?
Well, what's the purpose?
Well, the purpose is for our... I can't possibly pretend to know what God's actual purpose is, but potential purposes could be for our to challenge us, to make us more like God. So if all these temptations and evil things exist and we learn how to defeat them, that's the genuine sort of pursuit of wisdom that we as humans are capable of doing, that make us greater than the Nephilim, make us greater than even the angels.
Are you gonna watch Joe Rogan talk about DMT?
Possibly. Human reoccurring beings on trips are crazy. Like, there is Hat Man, mechanical elves, clowns, and more. Exactly. And so the clowns. So then you wonder, it's like, well, if they're recurring in everybody who takes DMT, that speaks to some kind of objective reality of them. People that have no connection to each other, people from different cultures, and just the fact that it happens so often. Like, the demons, Newman says, I think the demons are around to basically tempt humans, right? And through our temptation is our glorification. If we actually defeat our temptations, then we become holier, right? And we become prepared for the kingdom of heaven, which is completely holy. So that would be one reason. The Hat Man is seen even outside trips. I don't know who the Hat Man is, but I'm curious about that. It kind of sounds like oh wow, look at this. What is the Benadryl Hat Man? Interesting. The origins of Hat Man.
Have you ever heard of the Hat Man? The shadowy figure that haunts our dreams and terror.
What's that?
I think it's a meme. It's supposed to be. It's like when you take 15 Benadryl and see the Hat Man.
Yeah, but I bet it's a meme. It sounds like he's based on. It's like the sleep paralysis demon, right?
I guess.
So that's pretty cool. The Hat Man. Yeah, it's creepy. And it's because these things are real. You know, they actually exist. That's why everyone sees them. And then people make up, like, psychological. Well, actually, your psychology is making the demon. It's like, oh, a bunch of different people's psychologies are making the same image. Sure.
I'm going to Trader Joe's.
All right.
Peace, bro.
Peace, bro. But exactly, yeah. And it makes sense. And it's like we were looking at this, and we were looking at Genesis 7, and we actually are told about these things, right? So, wait. This is it. Now it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God, basically these fallen angels, saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, and all of whom they chose. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterwards. I'm guessing, yeah, giant is the Nephilim word, fallen or mighty ones. And also after when the sons of God came to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. And what we get, other than the imagery that all these ancient cultures have in common is that they're all trying to invoke, worship, or actually drive away these ancestors. That's what they literally call them, ancestors. And it's not, as this video explains, it's not like our version of an ancestor, our conception of the ancestor, which is like your great-grandfather who lived in Ireland, right? It's the actual founders of their civilizations and their societies. They're these kind of spiritual entities. They're described as the great men who created this world or their theology or something like that. Now, of course, it's all pagan theology, so they didn't create the real world. God did. Jesus Christ did. But in these shamanistic religions, these demons have convinced them that they are the gods, right? And so these are the Nephilim. Basically, and they have a similar look. They all have this white face, the red lips, the red nose, the big creepy smile. A lot of them have fangs. Even in It, you see this reoccurs, where he has like 2 layers of like shark teeth, right? So we even have the imagery of the fangs. Now, because we live in a Christianized society, none of us really believe that clowns are gods. But that doesn't make them not powerful spiritual entities. And the other interesting thing about the DMT realm is like people think they're breaking through into some higher dimension, but if you think about it, it's all very 2-dimensional. They're kind of trapped. Like, it's a blessing to be in 3 dimensions, be a human, and have will, and be able to change and do other things. But the jesters and the mechanical elves and all these things, they exist in this kind of strange, like 2 or 2.5 dimensional existence. So they are actually less than us. They are lesser beings than us. We are more powerful than them, of course, because we can invoke the name of Jesus Christ and destroy them, right? Or at least we have assurance in our victory, in the total victory of good over evil. Whereas these things are just so evil wherever they go, and they try to trick people and fool people. And one of the tricks is that they are higher beings. That's why they're worshipped by the shamanistic, paganistic cultures as being gods, because they've been fooled that they are gods, that they are greater than humans. No, they are less than humans. They are less favored by God, obviously, but also they have fewer powers than humans. Humion says, I think most tribal religions start with ancestor worship. For example, indigenous religions tend to have gods who are ancestors, right? Shintoism, Confucianism, and others have it too. Yeah, and I think what's happening there is they are worshiping their literal ancestors, who are the Nephilim, right? Not really that they're their ancestors genealogically or like biologically, but that these were the men of renown who created society, pagan society, as we know it, as they know it in these religions.
Away from Bali culture specifically, actually, just south of Indonesia, one of the islands there. And if you look at all the masks in that region of the demon masks, they look just like clowns.
I mean, it's literally, you take that and then you look up It, and it's the exact same thing. Especially like this photo here. That versus this, what is the difference? Not much.
With white faces, big red lips, but they have fangs sticking out, strange patterns on the face, you know. You can trace it exactly where they came from. And since that day, you know, from then on, circuses became a thing. The clown was adopted into the circus, and you find that all the the original circuses, were created by Freemasons, and the Ringling Brothers and the P.T. Barnum and Bailey, you know, they were all Freemasons. All the brothers were Freemasons, and they even combined together to do a show together called The Greatest Show on Earth, you know. And it was called King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Now, Freemasons are obsessed with King Solomon. They're obsessed with him. They want to keep building his temple, you know. They want to rebuild Solomon's temple in every way, shape, or form. A lot of the rituals revolve around him. They consider him maybe one of the first master masons, but it also goes all the way back to Nimrod as well. He was considered one of the first original masons, and it's very strange, but the two pillars, Yakin and Boaz, are associated with King Solomon's temple. And Yakin and Boaz, the two pillars, are said to be the pillars that survived after the flood. Gary Wayne talks about this. They were the pillars that had the knowledge which corrupted mankind, inscribed on them in language, in hieroglyphs, created by Enoch, the bad, from Cain's lineage. And it's just, that's all secret societies have the link back to this ancient...
That's a good point by Human. I think ancestor worship is why shamans wear feathers. They believe that their ancestor was an eagle and how the feathers grant the ancestors mana or something like that. Yeah, what's interesting is the ancestors of these pagan religions are all these hybrid, monstrous creatures. They're a mix of either a man and a woman, or they're a mix of an animal and a person, or they're a mix of they're like a person that literally has feathers or some spiritual entity. And that's what monsters are. They break boundary line. They dissolve the lines of boundary between categories of things, right? And the thing about the Bible, which makes so much sense, is, oh wait, our ancestors are actually humans created by God, and with a special it's kind of a special creation because we're created by God in His image, in God's image. And so the Christian story actually makes sense, and there's nothing monstrous about it. The boundaries and the categories are respected and contained and explained. And then you go to these demonic rituals and demonic pagan cultures and traditions and religions, and there's a monstrousness that doesn't explain what humans are. Or actually, it almost makes humans the descendants of monsters. No, humans aren't the descendants of monsters. Humans are special creations by God who have been perverted and corrupted by the monsters, by the Nephilim, by the devil, by demons, who have accepted this kind of monstrous nature and acted out, and sometimes literally acted out by dressing like them and doing crazy dances and taking ayahuasca to try to become more like their monstrous ancestors. But it's a confusion, right? It's a trick played by the demons to get people to worship them, give them power, give them spiritual energy, give them attention and focus, and take that focus away from the one true God, right?
Antediluvian serpent worship, veneration of fallen angels and Nephilim gods, you know. And these Freemasons who have this background and this belief and veneration of demons created something called a circus. Well, if you look at a circus, it's just an analogy for a Freemason ritual. It's you have the ringmaster with the top hat within a lodge. The grand worshipful master of the lodge, the leader of the rituals, is the only one allowed to wear a black top hat, just like the ringleader in a circus. The ringleader orchestrates the clowns. Well, the grand worshipful master in a lodge orchestrates the ritual, which venerates and worships and channels demons. It's the same analogy, you know, but they've just transferred it into a huge grand spectacle and gets the public involved in the ritual. And circuses were a big deal back then. If the circus came to town, you went. What else were you going to do? There was no TV or any of this. You would go, you know, everyone else is going. And the circus itself is kind of like a psychedelic place, you know, full of fractal patterns and designs and spinning light wheels and carousels and all this, and there's flashing lights everywhere. I think it is a tongue-in-cheek representation of this DMT realm where the clowns reside, where the jesters reside, where the demons are. They're trying to create physical representations of spiritual concepts, because that opens up channels, it opens up portals, it gives the demons the ability to manifest here physically through the channels that are created who wear the costume, or, you know, in a sense, create an environment, an entire environment like a circus, which would then manifest that spiritual concept into the physical and allow more channels to be open. It seems like that's what was going on. Today, circuses are old news. They're old-fashioned. They don't really happen anymore. We have TV now. The clowns are on television. The clowns are singing to us in the charts. You know, all the famous people dress like clowns, or they at least red the hair up, white the skin up, put bright red lipstick on, or some kind of crazy multicolored clothing on, or something, because they are doing the same thing. They are channeling.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Clown demons. Who would have thought? I always wondered why they were scary, right? You'd think that they were created innocently to be these silly things, but then there's all these, I don't know, that people just like pervert it from its innocent origins. But no, it turns out the creation of the clown itself was a demonic manifestation, a way to bring the demons into this human realm and give them power and give them attention. I think attention is power to them in a lot of ways.
And have a huge party dressed in monstrous, wild, big clown-looking, sharp-toothed, wide smile, mask-wearing, hairy beast costumes. And they would have a huge party, and then they would fast. It would begin the period of Lent, you know, the 40 days of fasting. And they would just have this massive carnival festival where they basically dressed like hairy demons with huge, wide grins and smiles. And this wild man tradition, you know, they noticed this, so they decided, well, let's add a wild man to our stock character list because everyone will recognize it in Europe. And that's what they did. They introduced Harlequin, modeled after the French version called Helikins. Now, Helikins comes from a 10th century monk describing his encounter with the wild horde. And it was this giant club-wielding beast, hairy monster thing with a bunch of demons around his ankles because he was a giant, and they basically went from village to village causing chaos and have a huge...
Yeah, I love that. They're like, oh, you know this great, this demon story? You know this vision that a monk had of an actual demon, a leader of a horde of demons? Let's make him the funny character. Let's make him the comic relief in all of our plays. Crazy. Madness. Oh, wait, no, that's not where I wanted to go. Playlists. This could be interesting.
The vessels of mercy, God, we're all have the possibility to be vessels of mercy because we're all prepared by God. We all have grace that we can receive because God very clear that Abraham's seed would bless all the nations on the earth, Jew and Gentile. The next verse is Psalm 137. Blessed shall he be who takes your little ones and dashes them against the rocks. She acknowledged that this psalm is a lament of the Jews during their Babylonian captivity after the destruction of Jerusalem in 586 BC. They mourn their exile and they cry out for God's justice against their captors. She has a problem because she's like, she understands that if this is a human book, but how can this be God's divine word? But the thing is, like I was saying, is God uses people. There's real human emotions. There's lots of heavy themes in the Bible. It's a very mystical, it's a puzzle. It's a very important book, and we should expect that from divine revelation. It is written by humans, inspired by the Holy Spirit. And so in this, the psalmist is speaking from the perspective of the Israelites who were brutally enslaved and whose infants had been murdered by the Babylonians. It's not commanding violence, this psalm, but it's expressing anguish and longing for divine justice. This is a cry of lament, not divine prescription. Is people, often atheists who are trying to deconstruct, they read these things. They're trying to poke holes in it and find every reason to deconstruct it. But this psalm is descriptive, not prescriptive. It describes the suffering and longing for justice, not a command to kill. The psalm teach us not only how the righteous rejoiced, but also how they lamented and cried out when enemies oppressed them. We learn how to bring our grief and even our anger before God rather than act on it. This is the most human thing. Imagine if the Bible didn't have these lamentful and cryful moments, is we all will have these terrible moments in our life where something terrible happens, especially in the ancient world. And so the Bible, just having a real human moment.
Do you think moral intuitions can change? If they are changeable, then I think my intuitions were wrong if they disagreed with God. Yeah, I think your moral intuitions can change. Like, for instance, one of my moral intuitions before I became a Christian and all the rest was that abortion was a good thing. That it was the medical choice of a woman to be able to, murder her child. That was my intuition. That's what felt right. So I don't think your intuition is really trustworthy in any sense. Mine wasn't. Mine still isn't. That's why I have to abide by a higher standard, a real standard that isn't just this makes me feel good or this makes me feel bad, because you can feel good about probably the most horrific thing plaguing our culture. Totally, yeah, especially if your intuitions disagree with God, disagree with the command to love your neighbor, disagree with the fact that all people are created in the image of God. Then yeah, your intuitions can be wrong, and I think they should change, and they should be open to change and be able to be changed. 100%. Hundo P. Probably wait till we have like an Infamous or something to do this video, but it is really good.
Ultimately, it's not a question of knowledge, right? Man's fundamental issue is not knowledge, it's ethics.
Hello?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man.
All right, we'll save that for another time. Okay, let's run through weapons a little bit if we can.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This really is an epic movie. I'm just going to try to pause on... There you go. Fuck, I missed it. I keep missing it.
Where did you go?
There you go. So, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to spoil it. This is a character in the movie. I'm not going to say whether she's the villain or the witch or the reason the kids are missing, but this is a crucial character. And what do you notice? Major clown imagery, right? Everything about it. So this is what got me on this loop. I'm like, what is the deal with clowns? What are they? Why, in this movie that has nothing to do with a circus, would this very creepy character be a clown? Yeah, the movie's out. It's out. It's still in theaters. You can rent or buy it for like $20 or something if you want to have kind of like a movie night or a date night or something, or like want to have the movie experience at home. You can rent it for like, I think it's like $20. I went to see it in the theaters. It's a great movie. You should absolutely watch it. I won't spoil anything else. Not that I really have spoiled anything, but it's really, really interesting. And so the main thing, what the guy wrote it for, or wrote it about, was his struggle with essentially alcoholism, which is a huge theme in the movie. And each character kind of represents one of those emotions that comes with an unexpected loss. And so most of the characters deal with this with some form of alcoholism. But people deal with it in different ways. So there is a psychological, like, inner world that you could pay attention to. But the spiritual connotation is interesting, too. I mean, it does have to... There is a level of witchcraft within it, of mystery. So I think it's kind of more fun to watch it with the spiritual thing in mind. And so what is the demon that infects this town? Because people are upset and they act irrationally because of their own sort of sins and their own sort of bad ways of dealing with stuff. But there's also this quite physical, literal, spiritual possession of the whole town that happens, which I think we could see in our culture, that we should actually pay attention to in our culture. When are things more than just an image? When are things more than what they seem? We have this like secularization of society, which makes it that, oh, well, all evil can be explained. All evil comes from within each individual person. I'm not sure that's true. I believe there are these spiritual beings and entities whom we need to battle with the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, with fasting and prayer. Those are our tools, and they're very effective tools for battling these demons. But when are we being influenced by them? When is it not something that's just our sin, our weakness, that allows us to do and perpetuate horrible things? And when are there actually outside spiritual forces that are doing that? I mean, we contend with not just fleshly things, but principalities and powers, right? So that's quite interesting. Human says, it just came to mind as most people seem to find nothing intuitively wrong with being gay, while people used to have such intuitions like 100 years ago. Totally. I think our intuitions change a lot. And being gay is a very interesting one, because that is probably the biggest inversion of, I don't know, intuitive morality that has happened in recent times. Now it's celebrated, it's promoted, it's taught to children in schools as being normal and all the rest. And I'm not saying there's no place, no reason for us to judge or hate gay people. But the act itself, I mean, whatever it is, it's fornication, it's sex outside of the sacrament of marriage. So it is something at least to be extremely wary about, but is being promoted in full force in the media and in the culture. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, this is a movie definitely worth watching, 100% worth checking out. I'm going to watch it again. I really liked it. Maybe I'll do a full video on it if I can. Yeah, that's the other thing. So all the kids basically, this is in the beginning, this is the opening of the movie, so it's not a spoiler, but basically the plot is 17 kids in this classroom get up in the middle of the night and they all run in this very creepy way, basically like into the woods, or they don't really know where they're running to. So 17 kids disappear all at once from this town. And it is extremely reminiscent. It reminds us exactly of the Pied Piper, right? And who is the Pied Piper? Oh, what do you know? He's a clown. He literally is this jester figure with the colorful sort of, let's see, oldest depiction. And this is a true story, by the way. The Pied Piper thing actually happened. And when lo, as they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. And the piper advanced, and the children followed, and were all in the very last. The door in the mountainside shut fast. So, for those unfamiliar with the tale, the Pied Piper of Hamelin is set in 1284 in the town of Hamelin, Germany. This town is facing a rat infestation, and a piper dressed in a coat of many-colored, bright cloth appeared. Interesting. This piper promised to get rid of the rats in return for a payment, to which the townspeople agreed. Although the piper got rid of the rats by leading them away with his music, the people of Hamelin reneged on their promise. The furious piper left, vowing revenge. On July 26th of that same year, the piper returned and led the children away, never to be seen again, just as he did the rats. A few children get left behind, the dumb, the deaf, and the blind. Is depicted in a stained glass window created for the Church of Hamelin, which dates around 1300, so that's very close to when it's supposed to have happened. Although it was destroyed in 1660, several written accounts have survived. The oldest one comes from the Lüneburg manuscript, which dated in the year 1284, on the day of Saints John and Paul on June 26th, by a piper clothed in many kinds of colors. 130 children born in Hamelin were seduced and lost at the place of execution near the Koppen. A 1384 entry in Hamelin's town also grimly states it is 100 years since our children left. I mean, this is really close to the plot of Weapons. The street where the children were last seen is today called the Bungelosenstrasse, the street without drums, as no one is allowed to play music or dance there. Wow. One theory suggests that children died of natural causes and that the Pied Piper was actually a personification of death. Doesn't really make sense, because why would you lament just the children? You would think that if everyone was dying from the Black Plague, including a bunch of children, then the lament would be for the town itself, or for the vast majority of the town. By associating the rats with the Black Death, it was suggested that children were victims of the plague. Yet the Black Death was most severe in Europe between 1348 and 1350, more than half a century after the event in Hamelin. Another theory says the children were sent away by their parents due to extreme poverty. That doesn't make any sense, because then why would you lament the children leaving? You sent them away. Could have been a children's crusade. I guess that might make sense. Dance mania, also known as Saint Vitus's dance. The affliction gripped mainland Europe between 14th and 17th century and has been described as individuals dancing hysterically through the streets for hours, days, and apparently even months until they collapsed due to exhaustion or died from heart attack or stroke. Interesting. Darker theories propose that he's a pedophile. I think he's really just a demon that is kidnapping children, right? That's the most straightforward. And look how he's depicted. I mean, this is a modern depiction, but I think there's value to it. It's the multicolored cloak. It's this weird hat. It's obviously the act itself. This is the most clown-like depiction. I don't know. This is the oldest known picture of the Pied Piper, copied from the glass window of the market church in Hamlin, circa 1300 to 1600. Look at that. That's exactly what we're talking about. Clowns are evil, baby. Clowns are evil. Mass hysteria could be a possibility. Yeah, but just the kids? Only the kids? And then why this whole Pied Piper situation? Why the music, the story of the music and all that? So creepy. Creepy. And in case you don't know, Weapons is created by one of the members of Whitest Kids You Know. It's a very, very funny sketch group who you should watch if you haven't. And the main guy, Trevor Moore, died. So not totally mysteriously, but very suddenly. He fell off his balcony at about 2:30 in the morning. Oh, wait, Weapons? The kids leave at 2:17? So there's all these allusions to sudden loss. So how do we deal with sudden loss? Most of the characters get drunk. Some of the characters get enraged. Some of the characters get very shameful. Some of them take action, right? Yeah, Whitest Kid You Know is awesome. So you definitely should watch Weapons. Actually, there's a lot of really, really funny moments. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but the end is super funny, actually. It's really, really fun. Like, laugh out loud. The whole theater was laughing when we were watching it. And it's scary. Like, we're scared the whole time, and then suddenly we're cracking up. And so there's just something really special about it as a movie.
Detective Murphy, just got here. What's the story?
Well, we got multiple stab wounds on the victims, and there's obvious signs of a struggle from the upstairs bedroom down. Looks to me like a lover's quarrel that turned ugly.
Real ugly. I'm gonna have to disagree with your detective work, though. I'd say it looks like we've got a serial killer.
Think it's our guy?
Matches his MO. Look at how the head barely hangs on by the flesh of the neck. Hands and feet are completely removed. Entire body's wrapped in its own intestines.
Man, I could have sworn it was a lover's quarrel.
Rookie mistake.
The worst part is the man's two kids saw the whole thing. They watched as their own father was brutally murdered and sodomized right in front of their very eyes.
It's things like that that just make you want to throw down your badge and find this gutless scum off the books.
Cut. Good.
That was really flowing for me.
I was feeling it. I thought it was great.
By the way, this is the guy that actually directed and wrote the Weapons. So it's funny that he's playing the director of this sketch, right?
Roger, can I give you a note real quick? Sure. I thought it was fantastic.
Thanks.
I'm gonna try it again.
Okay.
I want you to think this time, this is not just a job for your character. Being a police officer is an obsession.
Right.
You know, when you were a kid, you watched your own parents brutally murdered, okay? So we're gonna bring that fire and that rage up a little bit more in this one, yeah?
Okay.
I want you to do it again. I want you to do it happier and with your mouth open.
What?
Yeah, happier and with your mouth open, okay? I love it. I love it. You're doing great. People, top of page 20 by lunch. That's the goal. Let's roll camera! Action.
Detective Murphy, just got here. What's the story?
Well, we got multiple stab wounds on the body. There's obvious signs of a struggle from the upstairs down. Looks to me like it was a lover's quarrel that turned ugly.
Real ugly. I'm going to have to disagree with your detective work. I'd say it looks like we've got a serial killer.
You think this was our guy?
Matched his MO. See how the head barely hangs on by the flesh of the neck?
Cut.
Yeah, I don't think this is the way. I don't feel like this.
Roger, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Mitchell, real quick, if I may. I'm loving it. Loving every frame of it. It's great. I want to try it again. I want to try it with a bit more fire. You know, your character's seen it all. He's a tough cop, been on the force for years. But one thing that really drives him crazy is when harm comes to children. That's what we got here, right? So he could do anything. We don't know. I want that unpredictability. You know, you're virile, right? So we're gonna do it again, and this time we're gonna go even happier and with your mouth open. Okay?
Mr. Sheldon, can we talk about this?
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Roger.
Happier and with your
Happier,
mouth open.
even more. All right, team. Time is money. I don't have to tell you that. Let's roll that camera. Action.
Detective Murphy, I just got here. What's the story?
Well, we got multiple stab wounds on the bodies. Seems like there was a struggle from the upstairs down. Seems to me like it was a lover's quarrel that turned ugly.
Real ugly. I'm going to have to disagree with your detective.
Cut.
This is not right.
What?
It's not working.
Yes, it's not working.
It's not working.
Okay.
We gotta fix it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Roger. We're gonna do it again. Forget everything, okay?
Good, done.
Clean slate.
Okay.
We're gonna do this completely way happier. Your mouth is gonna be way more open. Okay, just big time. Mitchell, I wanna see you happier with your mouth open. You guys are on the same page. That's why we're a team. I love it. This is gonna be magic. Everybody, this is the money
Happier
shot. I
with
feel
your
it in my
mouth
bones.
open.
Roll that camera. Action.
He's crying. He's crying in the movie theater. That's funny. That explains why the movie Weapons is actually funny. Because he's funny. He's hilarious. That's my problem with Weapons. Brolin's mouth was too close. The Alamo Drafthouse played the Abraham Lincoln sketch before Weapons. Wait, let's watch that. Yeah, that was very powerful acting by Trevor Moore.
Oh, Hamlet. The vampire army has taken the city.
We must check the castle tower and make sure that no vampire have gotten into our home base.
You wait here. I'll go check the castle.
Yes, you do that.
Oh my God, Hamlet! I just saw a fucking vampire! It bit me right in the neck!
Oh no!
I just saw...
Save yourself, Hamlet! Shit!
Othello, I will avenge you. And rid this castle of the vampire scourge that has taken this fair city. I shall hunt each and every one down in this town and drive a wooden stake through their heart. All this for my friend Othello.
Oh no! Hamlet, turn around! He turned into a vampire! He's gonna punch you! Oh shit! Hamlet! I can't watch this! Hey everybody, I can't watch this!
Well, some of us are trying to.
John, please. Who said that? Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit? Was it you, String Bean? You skinny ass looking motherfucker! Turn around and say it again! Turn around and say it again! Turn around, say it again!
Will you please be quiet?
John, that is the President of the United States.
I don't care who it is, he's ruining Hamlet.
Oh! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now! Now you fucked up! 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 Now you have fucked up!
Mr. President, will you please be quiet?
Suck my presidential cock, bitch! You fat ass piece of shit! You tubbalard-looking motherfucker! What? 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 Hey!
What?
What? Huh? I don't know why you're looking up at me, bitch. Play's on stage. I'm not putting on a play up here. I'm trying to be entertained right now.
Mr. President, be quiet.
John, calm down.
Listen to the woman, John. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Hey, Acty, stop the play. Acty, ho, Acty. Hey, ho. I gotta go to the bathroom. I drank too much liquid. Now I gotta piss.
That's my president.
I got a bottle. I got a bottle. It's all right. Rewind the play 5 minutes though, because that fat piece of shit was talking. I couldn't pay attention to what you guys was doing. So rewind the play 5 minutes. And you shut the fuck up.
Rewind the play
I'm gonna do what I
5
should have done
minutes.
a long time ago.
John, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna beat him to death with this hammer.
What? John! John!
Ho! What are you doing, Skinny? What are you doing, you fat piece of shit? Where's he going? What's that fat piece of shit doing now? Oh, shit! Ah! Ow! Ow! He's hitting me in the butt! He's hitting my butt! Don't break my butt! Don't break my butt! He's breaking my butt!
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what actually happened on that fateful night.
That's hilarious. Hey, Teresa Smith, how you doing? I don't know if you know how it works on this channel. It's Shark Tank. You got to sell me what you're selling me in 5 minutes. And by 5 minutes, I mean 5 seconds. So you got 5 seconds to sell me whatever you're selling. I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're good. Are you interested in Nephilim? Are you interested in clowns? Are you interested in art? Do you have an Instagram? We can watch your Insta art. Whoa, this is gonna be sick.
Gave us philosophy and poetry and historiography. They gave us tragedy and comedy. They gave us biography. They gave us the Olympic Games, which, by the way, were later sponsored by the Romans. They gave us our modern system of government. And what else did they give us? I am lost.
Yeah. Where am I from? I'm from planet Earth, Teresa. I live on this planet, but I commune with the jesters in the DMT realm. No, I'm kidding. I live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles. I won't get more detailed than that because there are some people that want to kill me. So I live in the greater Los Angeles region. Remember, Newman, when I was making AI edits of Muhammad as a furry? So there are people that would like to see me dead, but basically, I'm in Southern California. Where are you from, Teresa Smith? Why do you ask?
Father. Yes? I've come to express my concerns about the new female priests. Yes? I feel as though they're going to make confession a bit awkward for me.
Don't fret, child. You won't even know the difference.
Okay. Forgive me, Mama, for I have sinned.
Mama. Oh, stop. I'm just here as a listener. No judging. I'm holding space for you to say everything you have to say. Let's get back to who you truly are.
Okay, I've had lustful thoughts.
You know, this is all very natural. There's no need to feel guilty for having thoughts that everyone has. We are so hard on ourselves, aren't we? How about being more gentle? Whatever happened to loving yourself? I just want to give you a big hug right now.
I also raised my voice to my wife.
Okay, Well, misogyny is not okay, but it's good that you're owning up.
Oh, thank you for following me, Teresa Smith. You're from Virginia. That's very nice. I hail from South Carolina, so somewhat close. Hugh Meon is right. I was born in Antarctica to a family of polar bears. Well, obviously I was born to people, but they abandoned me in Antarctica. There were scientists on the base studying meteors. And they said, you know what? We love studying meteors and science, and we're being shipped off to the moon, and they won't allow babies on the lunar lander. So they left me with a group of polar bears. Now, the polar bears were very nice. I couldn't drink the polar bear milk, so instead they would feed me Coca-Cola, which they had a lifetime supply of. That's basically my story. And then how do I get to California from living with polar bears in Antarctica? Well, that's just another story for another day, I guess. Can I suggest you something if you're okay with it? I'm okay with it, Teresa. I'm okay. Please suggest. Suggest away. This is quite an interesting thing as well, but actually not that interesting. Just kind of funny. Speaking of clowns, look at this. Speaking of Nephilim, look how demonic it all is. Everyone thinks the circus is like, oh, the circus is sweet. Oh, the circus is fun. You bring your kids to the circus. Oh, go to Cirque du Soleil. There won't be any demons there. Meanwhile. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Bring your kids. Tickets are cheaper for kids. You definitely will not be summoning any ancient demons. No way. Literal demonic nightmare. The circle of death. That actually does look extremely dangerous. Is this the Vatican? Yeah. This is the new exhibit at the Vatican. They replaced the Basilica with this. Oh. This is crazy. No way. What the? Teresa, I'd like to do people logos, animations. Would you like to see some examples? Sure, Teresa. Send them over. Look at his belly button. I do, Teresa, and you can join the Discord here. You know what? Okay, this is what we do. Teresa, you seem like a nice lady. If you're a lady at all, and not a group of Indian men making AI art. Go ahead and join that Discord. If you're willing to speak one single sentence to me, IRL, no pressure, but if you're willing to speak one word, then I will look at your art. Is Teresa a real human being? It's up for debate. It's up for debate, Humion. We're not sure. I don't think so. But she did do a ha 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 after a joke, which AI would have a trouble doing. My guess is that she's 100 Indian guys. Though that's my guess. That Teresa Smith 29 is actually code for I am 100 Indian guys. And you're not an Indian. Wow. Well, go ahead and join the Discord, Teresa. Go ahead and join that. And then you can send me your art in the Discord or send me to your Discord. But first you have to be willing to answer one question. I just have one question. One question. Sorry, are they a Humian? We're not sure. They're so far we know that they're real and that they're not Indian, but we're not ruling out that they're not a DMT jester. They could be a DMT joker. Teresa, you have to answer the one question. It has to be in person, so you have to click that Discord link, and it's real. I mean, my chat can attest to this. I'm not a scammer. You'll know my name in Discord if you join that link. That's how you'll know. This is so creepy, man. And people think demons aren't real, and then this is what we make for entertainment. That's actually crazy. And you definitely have to give them credit for their athletic abilities, but the imagery is just horrific. Just send me a request. Oh, to join the Discord. You have to accept the rules. How did you get my... Teresa Smith, you're not, Oh, I guess you are in the server. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. I would really appreciate it if you joined the live voice chat, though. That'd be way better. I'd be way more pressured, enticed to buy your art. Great. Just a bit of family fun for the whole family. Damn, he's on the outside of it? What the? I mean, that's insane. That is crazy. What the? They're gonna jump rope on the... What the? Did he almost fall there? What? That is truly nuts. What the? Wow. That's wild. Impressive. Why did they have to be demons? Couldn't they be cool angels or something? I'm proud to be in this act, and this video filmed in 2007, Toronto, Canada. The Best Wheel Act by Cirque du Soleil. I'm still performing the wheel, but now a Drawn to Life by Disney Plus Cirque du Soleil. Fascinating. 13 ribs. What is going on here? Is she balancing those? It's kind of cool. What the? Jeez. Yeah, Teresa, we'll look at the art. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Whoa. Whoa. Very cool, Teresa. Very cool. This one kind of looks like me. I'm just going to take this and change my name to Rumors. I can have this for free, right? This is mine now. Okay, changing my name, dyeing my hair black. I'm going to start wearing this shoulder thing. Sweet, thanks for the free art, Teresa. I'm going to use all that in promotional material to make money and not pay you anything. Just kidding, Teresa. I'm not going to use any of it, unfortunately. I do appreciate you. Looks like you work hard and you get good results. I'll keep in touch. I'll certainly keep in touch. Black Galaxy 6. Nephilim. Talk about a Nephilim. Yeah, this channel is how we scam artists. Basically what we do is we pretend to have a Twitch stream, and then I get like hundreds of requests for artists to make stuff for the stream, and then I actually choose one of the things that it already is, and I've changed my name so that now I'm Master of Disaster. Next time you see me, I'll be Master of Disaster, and this will be my logo, and I won't. Yeah, Teresa, I understand that you are a team of Indian people, so that's why you don't want to join my Discord. I get that. I straight up get that. But I will not be buying any art or engaging, really, unless you let me interview you in my Discord. In the live clowns and shit. No, I know you're on it, but I mean like your voice, like your person. You don't have to show your face, but if you show your voice, then I'll be at least more inclined. I'm not going to promise you that I'm going to buy your art, but at least I would have a reason to, and I'd know you're a real person. I know you're a real person, but I just don't know that you're not 1,000 Indians. You see what I'm saying? That's not really clear yet. But I don't mean to hold you hostage either. If you find my tone to be offensive, well, then I'm sorry. White House says it's not the president's signature and photo of Epstein birthday letter. You don't say. I heard Trump's new tactic is he was a spy. Trump was a spy on Epstein Island. Imagine it's a 30-year-old Pakistani man. Yep. That would make sense if they had the internet in Pakistan. No, I'm kidding. Of course they do. Trump's new defense against the whole, my name's all over the Epstein files, that's why I'm not releasing them, is, well, my name's all over the Epstein files because I was a spy. I was spying on Epstein to gather secrets and take him down myself, which is crazy, which is an insane defense only Trump could possibly think of. So you got to appreciate it on that front. Pastor preaches to Santa Muerte worshiper at the club. It got crazy. The Santa Muerte stuff is wild. Let's look up a little Santa Muerte. That's the other thing. The Santa Muerte is all about clown ancestor worship as well. Santa Muerte. Saint Death. Insane. Absolutely nutty.
Anybody who's watched Breaking Bad, True Detective, or played Ghost Recon will come across the image of Santa Muerte, the Mexican folk saint of death, dressed in a long gown with a skull for a face and her bony hand holding a scythe. The female figure of the Grim Reaper is often seen as morbid and menacing.
Is that Donald's actual defense? I'm not sure. Someone told me that off the bat, but I'm not sure if it actually is. Donald Trump defense against Epstein, was he spying? Oh yeah, that's what it says. Yeah. Okay, this might be real.
So now here's another one that I wanted to leave alone, but you know what? My producer was right. It's just too sexy. Listen to what the speaker just said about the president of these United States.
That he's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms.
Did he just say the president's an FBI snitch? Pete?
Pretty much. Chris, the president is a
Hold on,
chameleon.
Pete, did you hear what I just said? Did you just hear that the president was a CI for the FBI? You know, talk about...
So I think that's what it's all based off of, that one clip by Speaker Johnson.
And joining me now is New Mexico Congresswoman Melanie Stansbury. She is a member of the Oversight and Natural Resources Committees. Welcome back to the show. Good to have you. Your colleagues, Khanna and Massey, say they're going to get to 218 signatures, despite the intense White House pressure to keep Republicans from joining that effort.
Yeah. Donald was just going to the child island, the child trafficking on the plane and hanging out and signing things because he's a spy. Because that's basically what James Bond does. He hangs out with and writes birthday letters to convicted pedophiles because he's a spy. Rational logic, am I a Democrat or a Republican? Neither. I might be a registered Republican. I might be. I certainly agree with a lot more Republican stances than Democrat stances. For instance, abortion is probably the biggest one. I want lower taxes across the board, but Republicans don't do that. Republicans raise the taxes in different ways. I think if I had to really put myself into a camp, I'd probably be more like a libertarian. But they're also retarded, so I don't know. I'm a man without a home, unfortunately, much like many young men politically in America. There's no home for us. We don't want to be... We thought Donald... we are all libertarian, Marxist, socialist authoritarians. That's what I am. I'm a Marxist, capitalist, socialist, authoritarian, fascist. Let's just sprinkle a little bit of fascism in there. Call me a fascist. How do I feel about being a fascist? Right there. What are you, rational logic? Democrat, Republican, libertarian, Marxist, socialist, authoritarian? Think about it. Let me know. I'll be right back. And I'll play a little...
We all know the Epstein files has a lot of Trump voters absolutely fuming.
I'm gonna go throw up, actually.
Turns out the president's inhumane immigration policies, radical tariffs, and military activity in the Middle East were all not enough for the MAGA faithful to fall out of love with their leader. It was the Epstein files that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
President Trump was elected primarily to go after the deep state. We want to go after the deep state.
It seems like you think your base is stupid.
But why? Why do they feel so betrayed by Trump's handling of this one issue? Believe it or not, it all started back in 2016 with Lock Her Up.
Lock her up is right.
Reflected best in his famous demands to put Hillary behind bars, Trump has either directly led or passively rode the waves of conspiracy theories, telling his followers, they're the enemy, I'm your hero. And it worked.
A stunning upset as Donald Trump triumphs over Hillary Clinton.
Trump didn't slow down after winning in 2016 either. He continued to ride that wave, uplifting conspiracy theories about Hunter Biden, big tech censorship, COVID, and of course, Epstein.
Her friend or boyfriend, Epstein, was either killed or committed suicide in jail. Oh. Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed?
Jeffrey Epstein had been QAnon and conspiracy theorists' #1 guy for a while. He's the key that unlocks all.
Whoa, MSNBC, I totally trust you about everything you say. I'm sorry I just subjected you to an MSNBC clip. That's horrific. You guys, you know what you need to see, actually? You know what's really, really... This is messed up, man. Shit is messed up. I took a screenshot. And I should probably just bring... I should probably, like, text myself the screenshot and bring it up and all that stuff. But, okay, this is what I'll do. I'll post it in the Discord. Come on, where you at? There you are. Okay, and we'll send that, and then I can pull it up here. This is one of the most... I'm sure Gavin Newsom has already removed it. If he hasn't, that's insane. This is one of the most horrendous tweets I've ever seen in my life. What's up, Mighty Sarlacc? What's up? Okay, wait. So, Rational Logic, a Republican with the era of artificial intelligence, we need left-wing policies like UBI, free education, and healthcare for the poor. There will virtually be no repetitive work left because of AI. I think AI is great, but I doubt it will be good at philosophy. That's why I hope investing in philosophy will pay off. And then we get a hi from Mighty Sarlacc. What's up, Mighty Sarlacc? Welcome. You got into the political zone, but that's fine. That's what we're here for. So, Caroline Leavitt, Trump's press secretary. Pretty lady. I saw the comments of Miss Psaki, and frankly, I think they're incredibly insensitive and disrespectful to the tens of millions of Americans of faith across this country who believe in the power of prayer, who believe that prayer works. So essentially, Psaki, piss on me, is she said some derogatory thing about thoughts and prayers mean nothing. We need to ban guns. We need to get rid of all the guns because thoughts and prayers mean nothing. Caroline Leavitt claps back. Hey, listen, people believe in prayer. Prayer's a nice thing. In fact, prayer's all you have when your child has been ruthlessly murdered. This is all in reference to the most recent school shooting in the Catholic Church of the psycho trans person who we looked at on stream. Now, if you think Jen Psaki's bullshit couldn't get any more infuriating, prayer doesn't work, you need to ban guns. Prayer doesn't work, you need to do our political thing. Like, just totally hijacking a national tragedy to make a political point, to score political points with her base, is just as gross and disgusting as that is. For which Caroline Leavitt properly responds, this is presidential potential candidate Gavin Newsom's response. These children were literally praying as they got shot. Are you this scummy? Are you that slimy? That's the most like cynical, cringe, Reddit tier, hates life, hates children comment I've ever heard. And these children were literally praying as they got shot at. So what's your point, Gavin? So are you saying that they got shot because they were praying? Are you saying prayer doesn't work, doubling down on that stupid thing that Psaki said? Or are you also trying to score political points with this snarky, mocking tone? Mocking of children who were killed while they were praying. Mighty Starlock says, not a huge fan of politics. Used to be more into it, but both sides frustrate me. Agreed. That's kind of where I'm at. Typically, I'm more left, but I'm not upset with what the POTUS has done so far. Yeah, I'm not particularly upset with the POTUS policies, and everything he said he was going to do. And if he can actually end the war in Ukraine, that would be great. That's essentially was my main point of support for him. But the unwillingness to release the Epstein files makes me trust Donald Trump, as weird of a sentence as that is, less and less every day. As little as I trusted him to begin with, it makes me extremely skeptical. Why wouldn't you release him? And but the thing that gets me on the other side of maybe there is some kind of thing where the CIA and Mossad, they put his name over and over, like doctoring it or something, or maybe they tricked him and said like, oh, these are the files and your name's not all over it. So you can release them when you get elected, because he ran so aggressively on releasing the Epstein files, which if he knew he was in them, he just wouldn't have done. There were plenty of other points: immigration, economy, Joe Biden being 95 million years old, right? Kamala Harris being a drunk. Like, he had a lot of other things to run on, and he chose, as one of those things, releasing the Epstein files. Now, why would he choose that of the litany of other things he could have won based off of over... I just don't understand why he would have chosen that to run on if he knew he was all over it. That leaves some room for doubt about whether he's really all over it or whether that's a conspiracy, but he got trapped and now he can't release it because whatever. So I don't know what to think, man. I don't know what to think. I let Twitter do my thinking for me. How do I find Gavin? Did he like delete his Twitter after this? It's at Gavin Newsom. Oh, okay. There we go. If you just watch this guy's Twitter page is it's all like this aged nicely, like he's on Reddit. Gavin Newsom still thinks Reddit is big. What? The war on Christmas continues? What is he talking about? I bet if we look, I'm 1,000% sure that he's one of the people that enforces calling it Xmas. Big issue I have with the left is some saying stupid things like defund the police or the trans rights movement because it's a losing issue. Yeah, totally. That's that 80-20 thing, where like 20% of people that are actually on the left believe in, say, like a man being able to walk into a little girl's restroom, right, and use it without any repercussions, or defund the police, which makes no sense. So how exactly do you defund the police? Isn't the police the enforcement arm? What if the police decide not to be defunded? Do you then fund a different police to take them out? It's just all such snarky shit. And none of it's quite as bad as the one I showed you guys so far. This aged nicely. And this aged well. He's got like one line. I swear to God, he just hired some like ultra Reddit libtard. Wow. Yeah, you have sovereignty over your own body. If you can't decide that, who can you decide? What can you decide? Florida Surgeon General talking presumably about COVID. Now do reproductive freedom. Oh, sorry. Did you forget, Gavin Newsom, that it's a child, as in a different person who you don't have sovereignty over? Dummy. Let's see. Trump's base is splintering. Megyn Kelly, you can't just send the National Guard into random cities. It fairly clearly is not constitutionally permissible. He cannot do that. Quote mining Megyn Kelly. Why is he sitting on a chair? He's so much more comfortable on a couch. What? Is that like a poor joke? And I only say that because there's another one Newsom posted. It was a picture of Gavin Newsom versus a picture of J.D. Vance from high school. And Newsom's response was so like 80s skiing movie villain. Also, every one of his posts is about J.D. Vance. Jealous? Jealous much, Gavin Newsom? Human says, I think that abortion comes down to whether it's consciousness that we value. It comes down to whether it's human life that we value and what you consider a human life. But consciousness obviously does not determine what a human life is, because there are plenty of humans who are not conscious, right? And then if it's some kind of like scale of like, or a gradation of consciousness, well, then why couldn't you kill a 3-month-old who is not particularly conscious, who is acting based on basic instincts? Or like, okay, so if a 3-month-old has the same level of consciousness as, say, like a dog, well, can you keep your 3-month-old in a cage and feed it dog food in a bowl? No, of course not. So consciousness doesn't really work. It has to be what a human is and whether you value human life, I think is what it is. Mighty Starlight says, and to be fair, with the right policy I'm frustrated with is adding to the debt with the big, beautiful bill. The right talks about overspending, but does it all the time with their policies. I agree. I think we have one party. It's the uniparty, the left and the right. And I think the appeal of Donald Trump is you thought that, okay, sure, he's in the uniparty. He's running as one of the, as one of the shills of a Republican or a Democrat. But he's such a populist. He's such a strange figure. He's so different than your normal politician that maybe voting for Donald Trump actually is like voting for a new third party, like a populist party. But clearly not, because he just does whatever the Republicans were going to do anyway. But then at least it's funny. Like, at least it's called the big, beautiful bill. At least it's funny. Human says, I don't see babies as human either. They are subhuman. Well, that's where we disagree, Numenon. How do you figure that? How are they subhuman? Is that like a Nietzschean thing? Like they don't have as much power as full-grown humans? Because by that logic, poor people are subhuman to rich people. Do you agree with that as well? Human, correct. I think that's where the argument should be had, and anything after 16 weeks should be illegal unless there's a threat to the mother's life, and not consciousness, but sentience. I think people mean the same thing by consciousness and sentience, to be honest. They don't mean that the thing has a conscience or can act on its conscience, but they mean that it has the ability to feel pain, to make, say, instinctual decisions at least. Like, for instance, when they perform an abortion with a needle before 16 weeks even, the fetus will move away from the needle because it perceives pain. Well, so why is it moving away if it has no sentience? If it can't feel pain? So they can't write a PhD in philosophy. So PhDs in philosophy are superior humans to humans who can't write, who are, say, illiterate. I don't think that's a good standard for morality, and I don't think that's a good way to define human versus subhuman, or to even classify humans, because there are much better people that are plumbers than people that are PhDs in philosophy. I can guarantee you that. Let's see. There's one particularly douchey post that I'm trying to find. He might have taken it down because he got flamed for this. He got absolutely flamed for this one. And I would look up Gavin Newsom, J.D. Vance, but clearly every other post of his is about J.D. Vance. So Newsom was right about everything. This is his merch. Bed Bath & Beyond just reached out to sell our hats. No, thank you. Oh, you're too big for Bed Bath & Beyond, I guess. Oh, I got you, human. I got you. You're joking. That's fair. I should have picked that up. See what happens when we get into the political realm? I just get like enraged and I can't even see jokes anymore. That's what happens when everyone gets too political. That's why we try not to do that on this page, but you guys have to see this one post to understand what I'm dealing with here in California. Gavin Newsom is California as a person, though, to be fair. If California could, like, become a oh, here it is. Here it is. Look. Gavin Newsom versus J.D. Vance in high school. So that's Gavin Newsom in high school. Whoa, I really want to hang out with him. I bet he's not a douche at all. And this is J.D. Vance. Actually, I would want to hang out with him. He seems like we could play some Xbox, drink some Mountain Dew, have a good time, right? And by the way, this is also J.D. Vance, basically in high school, right after high school. They didn't post that picture for some reason. Why is that? Maybe because Gavin Newsom didn't do anything honorable? And so Gavin Newsom feels like he has to comment on, I miss that scarf. You can almost feel like the smirk just like radiating through the screen. You can almost feel the douche chill run down your spine. I miss that scarf. Smirking. I miss that scarf. Look how much cooler I am. Literally, Gavin Newsom's the type of guy that would bully this guy for being poor. This is crazy. Crazy. Look, and then he's making fun of him for running after his kid who's falling off a rock. Go get him, JD. Making fun of the way he runs. How about when he was running in basic training? You want to make fun of his basic training, Gavin Newsom? Just insane. Also, this is somehow a response to the breaking news that VP J.D. Vance will be in attendance at President Trump's meeting with Zelensky tomorrow, and this is your response, Newsom? Okay. California would be terrible to live in. It's unfortunate because it's a beautiful state. Such and overreach with far-left policies. The smug Vance smile is burned in my memory. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Vance isn't... I mean, he's definitely less smug than this.
He doesn't believe in that. He believes in the red states. He's going after. He's a war. He's a wartime president. He's the head of a war party.
He's the head of a war
on women.
War on women.
War on voting rights.
War on voting rights. Meanwhile, none of these things are actually wars. And the other party's wars are like Ukraine. That's great. War on women. You mean, how about, instead of a war on women, how about a war of defending innocent human children who can't defend themselves, who can't speak for themselves? That's just another way to state the war on women. California would be terrible to live in. It's really not terrible to live in, except for the far left policies. That's true. It is a beautiful state. And if you either make $1 trillion a year or you make $0 a year, California is livable. It's okay. I mean, even if you make $0 a year, it's still really hard because, for instance, to register my car every year, it costs about $500. That's like half of people's paycheck. You have some, falling apart Nissan Altima, 96 Toyota Corolla, and every single year the government is like, we need $500 just to make sure that that car still exists. What? Huh? So yeah, there are crazy parts about California. Faux show. What the?
Hey!
Some kind of DMT trip. Okay. Yeah, in Michigan, my 2023 Silverado costs less than $200 to register. Yeah, even that's a lot, $200. But better than California for sure. Okay, Human says, however, it probably does come down to consciousness. I think most people care about positive conscious experiences, and since a fetus doesn't have any, they don't see them as persons. Yeah, that's why I don't think that's not why, but a person is not a conscious experience. It's a person. It's a person made in the image of God. And the thing that you can't deny is that a fetus in the womb, from the very moment of conception, has a unique DNA structure. They are uniquely a separate person. They're not conscious, but they're a separate person. Kind of the same way that a brain dead person in a coma is still a person who's different than their mother, right? I agree, and to highlight the point, I would put it into a hypothetical. If you could, I hate this hypothetical. If you could save one person from a burning room, would you save a crying baby or a petri dish with a zygote in it? What is the point of that? What is the point of that hypothetical? I don't think that tells you anything, because from my view, they're both people. So it's kind of like if I ask, let me ask you this hypothetical, Mighty Sarlacc. If you could save Jerry from a burning building or Susan, which one would you save? Let me just put the hypothetical right back at you. If you can save Jerry from a burning building or Susan, which one do you save? It's the same hypothetical. It says nothing about whether abortion should be legal. Nothing. You know what I would do, honestly? I would save the crying baby and then grab the petri dish on my way out, if I could. Also, I don't know what a zygote is. Is a zygote... That's a baby... That is a unique DNA human being, right? Okay, say that again. So to highlight why most people value the consciousness, I don't think that's why they value the consciousness. I think it can possibly show that they do value consciousness over something non-conscious. Fair enough. Doesn't say that fetus isn't a person, that zygote. Yeah, the closest to me for safety reasons. Right, Jerry or Susan. Okay, so I would say the same thing to your hypothetical, which does nothing to counter the fact that abortion is to take the life of a human being. The closest to me, yeah. So my hypothetical, yeah, I think you answered that. The closest to me for safety reasons. Okay, same answer here. Now, why should abortion be legal? Human says, I think you can be pro-life without seeing the fetus as a person. This is how I argue pro-life from a secular perspective. Let me just give you the secular argument. And it's not even pro-life, because we're all pro-life. At the end of the day, we're all pro-life. It's just that I think what it is that the other side, the pro-choice side, doesn't see a fetus as a life. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but that's their perspective, so I get that. So the anti-abortion argument from a secular perspective is, I don't know when life starts. You don't know when life starts. If that's the case, you should err on the side of caution. So the earliest date you could ever put life starting at is conception. That's when you have unique human DNA in the cells. So that would be the conservative, that would be the side of caution to err on. Preserve things that might be human, even if you're not sure, rather than kill things that might be human, even if you're not sure. Because if you're not sure, why are you killing it? Right? Human says, I think the hypothetical could cut both ways as well. Like if you know the baby won't live past 4 months, but the zygotes will result in 15 conscious people, then you'd save the fetuses under future like ours view. Sure. Yeah, and Mighty Star said, I didn't give more information for each. Same with Jerry or Susan, like one's a pedo and one isn't. Yeah, exactly. That's why I think this hypothetical, because one, it is completely ridiculous. And two, I'm not even sure if we should have zygotes hanging around in facilities that can burn down. That doesn't seem like where they're supposed to be. But, I mean, fair enough. I get that's fair. I just think the hypothetical does nothing to say whether or not abortion should be legal. And it says nothing about the humanness of the zygotes. Most people, including myself, are probably, if they really have to choose with no other extra information, a crying baby or a bunch of zygotes, we're going to choose the crying baby. But that's because we're imperfect. That's because we can't save all of them. It's not because the zygotes are not people. A baby is also, we identify with things that are more like us. So in some ways, we either remember being a baby or we know babies or something like that. Crying babies trigger something instinctually in us that we want to protect, whereas zygotes look more like, I mean, you can't even see them, right? So I understand, lol, zygotes sitting on random tables. Yeah, I don't think zygotes should just be hanging out in some kind of facility anyway that can burn down, but... So again, the hypothetical, it's used a lot, but yeah, this is essentially the trolley problem. It's never happened in real life. It's not a real thing. It's like a philosophical tool I get to have an interesting conversation, but it's not relevant to the real question of should the murder of unborn children be permitted, be legal, be promoted in the way that it is in our culture. This is crazy.
Trying to put in their head, they knew it was. And you got the F
This is
students. The F
crazy.
students are inventors. They're so fucking creative that they couldn't sit in class.
Is that how they get the zygotes? Unironically, this is how they get the zygotes for that hypothetical. That dude wipes.
Creative
That
they
is
couldn't sit in
literally
class because
insane.
whatever people were trying to put in their head, they knew it was fucking bullshit. And you got.
Look at the duct tape. Plus, it could be that our duty to the baby outweighs the duty to zygotes, but we could still have a duty to the zygotes as well. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Is this even a real game? What is this? Is this the game? What the fuck are we playing, dude? What is this?
Help me to escape! Everybody run!
Most people.
I don't even know what I'm watching. Yeah, greatest car ever. I don't think it should ever be promoted, and I would also not be okay for multiple abortions. Like, in a way, only one get-out-of-jail-free card. Not being insensitive about the get-out-of-jail-free card, just cooler. No, I get you. I get you. I'm not trying to be, like, heated or judgmental about this, because I understand the other side quite well, because I was on it, right? Yeah, even the one, if any of them are not permissible, I don't think even the one is really permissible, really, if you think about it. If you think about what the problem actually is, the question is this a human life that deserves the protection of human rights that we give to all other human life? as being created in the image of God, which is where human rights come from? Or can you just... The vast majority of abortions are had for financial reasons. And honestly, sometimes even more shallow than that, for comfort. For the immediate comfort of not having to raise a child. And then people say like, oh, it's too expensive to raise a child. Well, that's not true. It's never too expensive to raise a child. The entire expanse of history, every birth that's happened in history, has happened to poor people as a majority. Of course, there are like emperors that have kids, but the vast majority of people have been born to peasants, to serfs, to the absolute underprivileged in society, and they've always made it work. And poor people today that have children also make it work. So it's really, I think it's, even if it's not understood this way, it's fundamentally a selfishness, or at least a hyper focus on your own, I don't know, success, financial success, comfort, over that of the child who is already present at the moment of conception. Which, you know, it's uncomfortable for us to hear. I've seen interesting interviews where wanting to abort the baby is mental illness. Under those views, you could see the fetuses as not morally valuable while seeing abortions as wrong. Yeah, the desire to abort the baby is certainly unnatural, especially if you're like an empirical evolutionist or something. Then abortion is actually, so that actually might be another good secular argument. So everything we do, all of our morality comes from evolution, is the naturalist argument, right, about morality. Oh, yeah, we have morality because we're evolved to have morality. Well, then actually abortion should be the most morally abhorrent thing to the naturalist. Because if evolution tells you one thing, it's to preserve the success of the next generation, to create the success of the next generation. Well, if you kill the next generation, then that goes directly against evolution. Evolution is your basis for morality. Therefore, abortion is amoral or immoral. Play this in the background while we talk about this. I simply hate women using it as birth control because I know plenty of women who have multiple done even when they've been married, which is crazy. I mean, what's the point of a marriage, right? It's irresponsible, especially for older, more mature adults, 100%. And I can understand a teenager, someone that did not really know what they were getting themselves into, making a mistake, and then having a sort of moral conundrum and getting the abortion due to, you know, wrong priorities or something like that. But for a married adult to have an abortion, it's because of like pure selfishness, really. It's like just a hyper fixation on your own immediate comfort, and like totally demonic, really. I mean, and we should really watch like I watch a lot of these videos, and people really hate these guys, but sometimes they're annoying, but sometimes they really are able to change hearts and minds, right? So
is that intense or is that true?
That's 100% true.
Thank you. Very, very good.
What up, dude? I've seen you on TikTok.
No, you have not.
Yes.
You promise?
Yes.
Are you a subscriber?
I am a subscriber, yeah.
You should check, because a lot of people are getting unsubscribed. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? 100%. 100%. Man, you got a pocket? Here, let me hook you up.
Oh, for sure. Good job. Keep it up. Yeah, I've heard the abortion.
Yeah, cool. What do you think about it? You're kind of like,
it's literally murder.
What, man?
I watch on YouTube all the time, bro.
Oh, y'all are with us? Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. Yay or nay on that?
God bless you. I watch you on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
God bless you, brother.
So,
thank you.
Thank you, brother. You guys have a great day.
Continue spreading the message.
To eat. I love your videos. So.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, man. Is that intense or is that true?
That's just a little bit of support for the abolition movement. Let's see. I haven't watched this one. We could check this out. It's mostly the people arguing against it are mostly sort of immature college kids that think they know everything. And of course, YouTube doesn't help by saying, well, actually, an induced abortion is a procedure to end a pregnancy. What do you mean end it? What, like deliver the baby early? Because that's not what it is. It can be done two different ways. A medical abortion, as in a chemical murder, and a procedural abortion, as in a physical murder, where they take forceps and rip the body parts of the baby out. Yeah, it was my wife's cousin who was a hardcore Republican, was in her early 30s and had 2 done. That upset me a lot, even as a pro-choice person. I definitely think more nuance should be had, even from my side, and more restrictions. I mean, yeah, I definitely would agree with more restrictions. I think outright ban would be the actual moral way forward, the actual recognition of the human rights of people that can't defend themselves. Yeah. So Human is asking me, if ending your baby is wrong, then wouldn't your view entail that women who did so should be put in prison? Post facto? No, definitely not. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think the vast majority of these women who have had abortions have actually been tricked by things like this. Really, like from their education, from the media, from the culture. If I could put the media and the culture in prison, in some way, then that's what I would do. And really, what that actually is to change the culture. So to put the bad ideas of the past in prison. So yeah, so to Mighty Sarlacc's point, if it was legal at the time, and not only legal, but there was a vast misinformation campaign to make people think that this was a legitimate medical procedure, in some cases even legitimate to use as birth control, I wouldn't blame the people who had been tricked, essentially, right? This was a large demonic force. I mean, child sacrifice has been around since the Old Testament, from the earliest days, going back to the Nephilim, going back to Baal and Moloch. This is what the demons want, is for humans to sacrifice their children to them for success, for better crops, for money. It's the same reason people have abortions now. So if I could put the demons in prison, I would. And luckily I have faith that that's exactly what Christ will do, and is doing and has done. But I don't think it would be wise or proper to put the women in prison, because once it's understood what they've actually done, that is going to be its own hell for them to deal with. That's going to require repentance and coming to God and stuff like that, which is hard enough. I think we should promote the understanding of it without condemning. We have no right to judge these women, condemn them ourselves. Now, after the abortion ban is put into place, when people are aware that a human fetus is a human life, and to have an abortion is to commit a murder, then there's a better argument for people going forward that maybe there should be prison time. Probably prison time would be the thing. Whatever the sentence is for killing a child, I would say that's probably what it should be for killing a fetus, going forward. But we can't go back post facto and enforce this thing, because most people really had no idea, still have no idea. So wouldn't them being tricked just mean gross negligence? Maybe, but I don't know. We didn't put average German citizens in prison for the crimes of the Nazis that they promoted and helped carry out in their sort of minor ways. We put the head people in prison. So should we put maybe the people that started Planned Parenthood in prison, especially the abortion element of that? Yeah, maybe, probably, right? They are the tricksters. They are the demons they are the people possessed by demons who created this problem and who did influence the culture in this direction. I would be okay with putting those types of people in prison. But, and Mighty Star says, you can't enforce against negligence or ignorance. Yeah, it's hard ignorance is a tough one. And even negligence is usually a much lesser charge when it results in a death than, obviously, homicide. Fair enough. However, if abortion is murder, then I still think those women would be evil people. It's hard. I can't say who's an evil person. I can only kind of identify what's an evil act, but we all do evil things. So if we're going to go around calling everyone who's committed sin, who's committed evil, themselves intrinsically evil, that's just a judgment that we don't have the right to make, I don't think. That's only for God to decide. So they have a much bigger judge to contend with than the judges of our earth and our planet, right? And I really do think a lot of women that I've heard from and even talked to myself in some cases, but certainly through like, a friend knows a friend that this happened to, they get an abortion and it destroys them emotionally. They think about the child and they feel like they've done something wrong. So I think the emotional weight of it is almost enough, especially if we normalize the knowledge, which it is knowledge, as in a justified true belief that abortion is murder. I think that will do more for the women than putting them in prison. I don't think that's going to do anything. Even if there is a logical argument for it, I just don't think that's feasible going forward. But just like you're watching this video about like the truth, and then Google feels like it has to chime in. An induced abortion is different from a spontaneous abortion. That's what they call a miscarriage now, a spontaneous abortion. What? Huh? I guess it depends on how you define murder, because if it's not illegal, then it's not unjust, I guess. No, I think things can be completely unjust that are legal. For like a lot of scamming, right, is like technically legal. And also the arbiter for justice is clearly not our legal system, right? Otherwise, all of the perpetrators of the Epstein human trafficking ring would be in prison. If our legal system were perfectly just, we would know who these people are and they'd be in prison. And yet, of course, it's not just for people to sex traffic children to Epstein Island just because they got away with it, right? So justice is not defined by our legal system. Our legal system strives to enact something like real justice. It like simulates real justice imperfectly, very imperfectly. And then great point by Human. Cheating is also legal, but incredibly unjust, incredibly immoral, right? And then I also hate how they redefine miscarriage or what a woman is to get around the issues. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. It's a language game. I don't know if you guys have read 1984 by Orwell, but it's this what do they call it? Not misinformation, double think, where you play with words and you change definitions and you create new words in order to get people to hold two contradictory ideas in their head at one time. Idea number one, human life is valuable. Idea number two, you can kill human life, right? That's the double think that's happening with abortion. Most people do believe that human life is valuable. And yet not most, but at least 50% of Americans, or maybe less, but something around there, support abortion. So how do you hold those two contradictory statements in your head? Well, you have to redefine stuff. Oh, abortion is not killing the baby. It's a spontaneous ending of the pregnancy, right? And then you confuse people and you try to, I guess it's medical. Oh, well, the doctors say that it's not killing a baby. So, that's how they do it.
Where it's fuck your argument, it makes no sense. Bring your swastikas because you're a fucking Nazi. Go bring it. They will fuck you up. This is dangerous thinking. You standing here preaching this bullshit is dangerous.
Yeah, that's what's dangerous.
Bitch, y'all white. Y'all was the fucking masters, bitch. The fuck?
What's that have to do with abortion?
He wants it up there.
Oh, yeah, he wants it up there. Wait, did he just say love thy mother flippin' neighbor, and yet he's in support of killing your neighbor? Huh? How do I respond to women's autonomy around the abortion topic? You just don't. If I'm talking to an actual woman who is concerned about this or thinks that I'm being racist or something like that by being against abortion, then I'll handle it more delicately, and I'll make sure that I'm not coming across as hating them, especially if they might have performed one. Now I'm talking like the doctors. But the true answer is nobody has autonomy over another person's body. So the fetus has unique human DNA. It is not the same person as the mother, and we never treat them the same way. Oh, the baby just kicked. What are you saying that, like, when they feel their belly, oh, the baby's kicking, I think we're going to name it John. Well, you wouldn't name your liver John. If your liver, like, spasmed, you wouldn't say your liver was kicking. Right? and then love it and treat it with respect and say give up smoking cigarettes for 9 months while your liver grew, something like that. So the truth of the matter is people should have a relative amount of bodily autonomy, for sure. I still don't think people should really be permitted to kill themselves, but anyway, that's a different story. But nobody ever has autonomy over someone else's body. And that's what the problem is. The problem is it's a fetus and a woman. It's a person and another person who's actually charged with taking care of the first person. So this is another one of those lies, one of those like double think moments where they say what bodily autonomy, pro-choice. Well, nobody gets the choice to murder. Nobody has the choice to murder. And yet mothers do, as long as it's their own child who's in their stomach. I think the violinist thought experiment might illustrate Starlight's question. I'll look into that. That sounds interesting. I don't know that. Good answer. I also think more personal responsibility needs to be had by both men and women, or boys and girls of that age, that they engage in intercourse. Well, I promote the only way to make sure that if you don't want a child, the only way to make sure to not have one is to not have sex. That is the only foolproof method. And also we're told that to be like Christ, to follow Christ, and to be holy, we can't be sexually immoral, and that sex is reserved for this special relationship between a husband and a wife for the purpose of creating a child. So yeah, I would promote chastity. I would promote chastity. And I'm not putting this all on women either. This is on men as well. Men need to be more. They need to stand up for the rights of their children. A lot of times the men will be the one that actually want the abortion because they don't want to have to be a dad. They don't want to have to take care of the child. And I'm not taking any responsibility off the men. If you're a man and you got your lady pregnant, you can't force her, but you encourage, especially in our culture, you encourage her. You tell her you're going to support her and that child. You tell her we're going to make it work. Because we are in this together. We did this. And murder is not the way out of doing something which you perceive as a mistake, which, by the way, most parents, a vast majority of parents, end up loving the child that maybe they considered aborting or whatever it is. Yeah. So a human says, I would actually see a parent who doesn't use their body to push a kid out of the way of a car as a bad person. I think our parental duty outweighs bodily autonomy. Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I think you have a duty. You have a responsibility to your child. And that's a good example of that. I think most parents would sacrifice themselves for their child. That makes sense. Bad parents sacrifice their child for themselves. And that happens a lot, all too much. And this is just one of those ways that it's totally normalized, accepted in our culture, which is horrific. I definitely do think our parental duties outweigh bodily autonomy. Now, again, can you prosecute someone who didn't jump in front of a car to push their kid out of the way? No, but that doesn't make it moral or something. But this is even worse than that. This is like driving a car at your kid. They're like running over your kid with a car. That's what abortion is. It's not like, oh, I'm failing to do something maybe because I'm fearful or cowardly or whatever. I just don't care. This is like active I'm doing this. I'm getting behind the wheel of the car. I'm getting up to speed. I'm telling my son to stand in the middle of the driveway or something. I know it's horrific, but I think most people would see it as a parental duty to jump in front of a bullet to save their kid. Yeah, even if most people didn't see it that way, I think that is the natural way. I think that is sort of what we're called to. And the thing is, like, secular people have no way to argue against this because their entire standard for morality is based on saving your child, propagating your lineage. That's how evolution works, hypothetically. So it's not like you just have to take this religiously, right? In fact, it's almost a stronger argument to take it secularly because, well, of everything I already said. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting stuff.
Condemn Hamas.
Sure, yeah.
Well,
I think killing anyone that's innocent is wrong. Like, I don't care who does it. Like, I don't pick sides. I'm not like Republican or Democrat. Like, I think we shouldn't kill innocent people because I think men are made in the image.
To give some pushback, wouldn't something in your body with no conscience lack those same rights? Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I'm talking about. A baby is very different than your liver or your lung or your kidney. A baby had, like, so for instance, something in your body has your DNA. It is part of you, right? Now, do I think you should just be like cutting livers and kidneys out for no good reason? No, of course not, but I don't think anyone really does that. A baby, though, a fetus, is a unique human being that, if left alone, will grow into something we all recognize as a human being. A liver or a hand, or like, say you want a peg leg really bad, like you love pirates or something. You're a trans pirate. I go by arg, they/arg. And you cut off your leg to put on a peg leg. I don't think that's, normal or that should be promoted, but that's not like totally immoral. It's definitely not on the level of like murdering your leg, but a baby is a very different thing. A fetus is a very different thing than a part of your body. You appreciate me being able to have the conversation without being angry and trying to understand the other side, but still making my point, right? Most can't, and the convo devolves into I get meta something, or like just yelling at each other, or like, you're a bad person because you believe this. No, man, I believed it too, right? And I don't think I was a good person per se for that, but it's hard. There's no right of mine to judge other people. I don't have that right. That's not something I've been given the authority to do. Only one has the authority to judge, and it's the Lord Jesus Christ. And and you could say God the Father and the Holy Spirit as well, but God the Father has bestowed that right onto his Son specially, and we're told that in the Scripture. So if I'm not Jesus, which I am certainly not by any stretch of the imagination, not even, I'm about as far from him as anyone could possibly be, then I certainly don't have the right to judge people who are doing this or have these opinions or anything like that. So it's important to be chill. But, of course, I have to stand up for what's right, what I know to be right, what I know to be true, most important. This is about truth, really, not about winning or being right or something like that. Mad Guy is ironically very chill. Yeah, it's true. The name, I like the name. It's like that old saying, like, ramblings of a mad man. But I thought it'd be funny to be a mad guy, right? So mad really refers more to being crazy than upset. You know what I mean? Which is good. Yeah.
Image of God.
You have a kid?
I do. I have a 20-month-old. Yeah.
You have a daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's a daughter.
So, if something happens to your daughter, right, and your daughter is impregnated,
yep,
right, and she's really young,
13,
whatever, are you going to make her keep that baby?
I would encourage her not to murder the child, yes. And I would hope we would have laws that wouldn't allow her to become someone who takes the life of another innocent human being. But I would surround her with love and support, and I would advocate actually punishing the one who is guilty, because I think in that situation, you've got there's three people in that situation where someone gets impregnated because of rape. You've got the guilty rapist, and then now you have two innocent children, the innocent child that was the victim of the rape and the innocent child that was the product of the rape. And I'm trying to be consistent. I don't think we punish innocent people for the crimes of others.
When do you think sentience begins?
Well, I mean, probably not till like 3 or 4 is when you start remembering stuff. But I don't, because like my ethic is that men are made in the image of God. Like that's like part of what being human is. I don't really put value in like a lot of, you'll hear pro-lifers talk about like personhood or sentience, something like that.
Well, that's where I was coming from with that.
Yeah. I just think because if it's human, it's made in the image of God. Like that's part of like the human condition is that we are in the imago Dei is the fancy like theological word. And so us being made in the image of God is what gives us rights. It's like what communicates our rights to us. Gotcha.
I think it depends on what's best for both the child and the mother, which is why that should be the mother's choice.
Sure. Yeah, but if it's the best for the child and the mother, then in what sense is killing one of those people best for the child or the mother? Making the mother into a murderer and not even giving the child the chance to be a full-grown person can't be the best, right? Maybe the mother can think in a very limited, like, instant gratification way, oh, it'll be best for me if I don't have to deal with this child. But in the long run, I don't think that's true. I think most people feel regret and remorse for abortions. And of course it's not the best for the child.
I would agree with how you just said that. I think doing what's best for the child and the mother is always what's important. What I think happens in abortion...
So what if having the child is not what's best for the mother?
You can't, well, at that point I'm saying you can't, you still do what's best for child and mother.
But
you try and say both. Like doctors...
Yeah, that's the thing. So the argument for being made in the image of God is the best argument. It's what I truly believe. It's like the core of my belief that abortion is wrong and evil. But it's because I believe in God that I even believe that good and evil exist at all, really. And I haven't really heard anyone make this secular argument. One, the erring on the side of caution, and two, the evolutionary argument. I've never heard that. So maybe I should go out there with a sign and hang out. I've always kind of wanted to run into these guys. I saw them do a series in Santa Monica, which is in Los Angeles, which is near where I live-ish, for the Muslims that are trying to kill me. But I don't. I live in San Diego. So kind of part of me wants to run into them and, well, at least say congrats. I love the channel. Keep doing what you're doing, stuff like that. But maybe even present that and see if they would think that that's a good argument. These are the pro-abolitionists. They know what works better than I do. But that's just something I thought of. So. And because so many of my friends and everyone that I talk to are secular, there has to be some secular argument. I think the best argument is actually that we were knitted in our mother's womb by God himself. That would be number one reason to be against it. But I'm interested in other secular arguments for it too. Human says there are many underrated secular arguments against abortion. Yeah, I think I was able to give 2 that I just thought of off the top of my head. Pretty much. I mean, I've said them before, so I've thought of them before, maybe developed it a little bit, but yeah, I think for secular people, going Imago Dei isn't going to work because they need to accept a whole host of other metaphysical truths before they even get there. I love San Diego. I used to live in Yuma, and it was a short 2.5-hour drive to the beach to get out of the desert. That's nice. Yeah, that desert is harsh. The Yuma Desert. That's cool, actually. Yuma, Arizona. You know, there's an amazing monastery in Arizona I want to go to. Oh, look at that. Look how sweet that is. That looks awesome. I'd love to live in Yuma. This is a small little city here. The Yuma Desert. Oh, look at that. That's cool, man. That's really cool. And then, yeah, you just shoot over on the, what, the 10 or the 8? Shoot over on the 8 all the way over. Get to San Diego. I love San Diego. San Diego's a great city. Let's take a look at... Let's dox our friend Rational Logic here. Is this not Google Maps? This is Apple Maps. Let's look up the... is it St. Stephen's Monastery, Arizona? Is it St. Stephen's? St. Anthony's. Yeah, look at this. No, it's probably not in Yuma, but there's a special story about this church too. I was talking to a buddy who stayed at this monastery for a month, and basically a professional athlete came, and his daughter was very sick. His child was very sick, and one of the monks prayed for his daughter, and she got better. And then he donated like millions of dollars to build this little church here and some other parts of the monastery. But doesn't this look amazing? That's in Florence, Arizona, and it just is like a relic of the old world. And there's a very famous elder Ephraim, who was the abbot of this monastery, and people said they report all sorts of miracles attributed to him and say he had clairvoyance, and he died not too long ago. But yeah, I really want to go here and check it out. Look, that's one of the chapels. Just amazing. These are the monks. Or is that AI? This looks like AI. Here's two of the monks. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Nice. I used to live 2232 West 19th Street up until 1987. I'm 47, by the way, so I was young when I lived there. Cool. Well, at least you're not doxing yourself. I was like, I don't know if it's wise to put exact street address, but if you don't live there, then you don't live there. So who knows? That's awesome, though. 2232 West 19th Street. Just get a little taste of, oh, you can't even walk down the street. Look at that. Oh, no, we can. Oh, 2229. Here's your neighbor. I wonder if your neighbor's still there. I think. Oh, we gotta go the other way. I think you would be over here. One of these houses. Just casually doxing you. Yeah, I think you're pretty safe. If this was 40 years ago. Has it changed? Does it still look about the same? It's pretty nice. Very beautiful. Part of me does want to live in a little neighborhood like this, you know? Probably know. Did you know everyone on the block in the cul-de-sac? Oh, how sweet. How sweet. Yeah.
Should treat them as if they have two patients.
Yeah,
Are
just
there
a casual
situations
doxing.
where a child will be lost? Yes, I'm not saying there aren't, but.
Oh, by the way, in case you guys want an update on that guy that borrowed money from me last week, he was not able to pay it back by Sunday, as he promised. But there's still hope. There's still hope. He called me 2 days before, and he says he's going to pay me on Wednesday, and he sent me a pay stub that processes on Tuesday. So I'll keep you guys updated, just so you know. Heyman says, you don't say. Just so you know, there's still hope, but we're living out the Chaz Palminteri situation right now as we speak. So anyway, just wanted to update you. There's still hope. There is still hope. Yes, we were all around the same age. That is That is nice. Yeah, he didn't pay you back? No way. But listen, at least he had fun at the Modest Mouse concert. I hope he actually went to it. He did. I saw it on his Instagram.
You should never just be like, well, this is bad.
So
Let's just kill the
decision
child.
Should that be a doctor's, the government, or the mother's?
I don't think a mother should have the choice to just kill her
Why?
child.
That's her child. Well, that's your fetus. That's
Again,
her
but it's-
child. That's what she gave birth to.
but
That
it's
has
another
no
human
conscious-
being,
It
though.
has no conscience to say anything or have a decision.
Okay, but
Disabled people don't have consciousness either. As a Catholic, I believe. from
Disabled people
conception-
definitely have consciousness.
I'm autistic and I have consciousness.
Okay, well,
I'm autistic too.
Yeah, and you don't have consciousness.
What is that? What is that line of argumentation? Oh, whoa, they're attacking his buddy. Look. They're actually attacking him. And these are the people on the right side of history. Sure.
We don't even know what consciousness is.
And so that's why I don't like ground my belief in like consciousness or something else. I just think
But that's based on your beliefs and opinions.
Yes,
I just think humans,
Which you cannot put on.
like I have a belief that humans are made in the image of God and humans have value.
Yeah. So therefore, that choice should be mine based on my
Yes.
beliefs. That's it.
Everybody grounds their beliefs in some religious belief.
Not really.
Yeah, literally calmest abortion debate. I like how this guy's having like kind of a logical, like reasonable conversation over here, and then like directly behind him, not 15 feet away, his buddy's getting like swarmed and attacked. It's crazy. Crazy.
Lack of belief in God is also a religious belief.
Sure, but like, I mean, like my dad doesn't believe that there's any higher being, there's no afterlife.
I
There's
believe
really
that they should
nothing
have
after
better
you
access to
die.
healthcare.
So he's grounding his beliefs in his own opinions. Why is that more valid? Why is it?
That's the thing. It's not more valid. It's
Exactly.
fucking coworker has some goddamn respect on
So-
our fucking campus. Real.
Amen. So you believe in the rights of the poor. This is something we agree on. We can both agree we want something better for
But
the poor.
I will say, we have different feelings.
What does that have to do with being black? I don't understand that. Well, why is it a black-white thing? They're black abolitionists. Could you even possibly use that argument against them? What?
I'm still talking. I just want to turn this. She's got a very big crowd, and she's standing by herself. That makes me nervous.
Who's shit? Oh, look, it's a female abolitionist. See, that always helps too. That helps too, because there are a lot of women who are against this. Question outside of your religious beliefs: would you be against, let's say, an 85-year-old that wants to unalive maybe after their wife died to make that choice on their own? Thoughts? No. Well, so I can't answer that question outside of my religious beliefs. I can tell you what I believed before I had religious beliefs, where I was just making the rules up for myself, however I wanted. Which was, well, of course, they can kill themselves. It's their body, their choice, right? Same as the abortion thing. Their body, their choice. So, yeah, like if my morality was just based on my opinion, then either I could say, sure, they can, or sure, they can't, and it wouldn't matter either way. What the actual answer is no. God will decide when to take you. If he doesn't decide to take you, you've got time left to become sanctified, to become closer to God, closer to Christ. If he chooses to use you this way, which he almost always does, to spread the gospel through you with however many years you have left. So no, I would, again, it's like just in the same way that I'm not the judge of people when they sin. I can't be. I have no right to do that. That's not my place. That's not my order in the cosmos. I have no right or ability to say when people should die, when they should be allowed to kill themselves or kill others or take other people's lives. So in the same way that we say that you can't murder others because you don't have that right to murder someone else, I don't think you have the right to murder yourself. I really don't. I don't think that's what God tells us. I think he wants us to live for as long as he wants to use us for, right? And I think it would be a demon that convinced you to take your life. In that really specific instance as well, it's like you're 85, your wife just died. Hang in there. Just hang in there, man. You've been through most of life. You can make it the last couple years until the good Lord takes you, I think. Okay, sweet. Gotta go. Power outage, so back to work. All right, peace, Mighty Sarlacc. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate you. It was fun. Wow, we've been going 3 hours and 20 minutes. It's almost time to wrap up here. Let's go for another 20 minutes or so.
Not everyone here follows Jesus, right? And follows the Bible and all that stuff. I don't, personally. Like, I was raised
What if they're in pain and will stop living in a few years anyway? Most people say, most of the saints thank God for their pain because it brings them closer to God. So trials, tribulations, physical pain, illness, sickness are actually a way to be sanctified, are a way to to defeat your bodily passions, right? When you're in pain, you actually don't have time, like chronic pain, like you're describing. You don't have time to be consumed by yourself and by your passions, and it can be seen as a sort of like, almost like a fasting or something like that. So I don't think that would be a really good excuse, especially if God wanted to give you this pain, or rather allow you to have the pain, whichever form it is. I think you should try to use the pain to become closer to God before your inevitable entrance into his kingdom. If you cut off your pain too early, what if you know they'll sin more if you prevent them from ending it? Well, that's up to God. And that's actually, were you here when we watched that that Russian parable, which is such an interesting, or Russian like sort of folk story, but basically, I'll try to recount it if you don't remember. But basically, a man is traveling through the woods in Russia. It's the most Russian story ever. And a mysterious traveler joins him. He says, "Hey, fellow traveler, I'm going the same direction as you. Do you mind if I tag along?" And so the two travelers, they walk, and they come across a very modest, poor home with a righteous man and woman. And the man and woman, they accept them into their house, and they feed them, and they clothe them, and they take care of them, give them a place to sleep. And the poor couple, they only have one item in their house of worth, of value, and it's this beautiful silver platter. And what the mysterious traveler does is he takes the platter and he throws it out the window, and it lands in a lake, and it sinks to the bottom of the lake. And the first guy goes, "What are you doing? Why would you do that? They were so nice to us. That's so mean. That's their only prized possession. We got to get out of here. We're going to be prosecuted." Then the mysterious traveler says, "Okay, let's leave." So they walk along, and they find another house. And it's another righteous couple, a nice couple that takes them in and feeds them and houses them. And they have a very good, upright son. And what the mysterious traveler does is he goes to the son and he chokes him to death, and he murders their son. Their son is the only thing they have in this world, and he murders him, not the couple. He just murders the son. And the traveler goes, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's crazy. These people welcomed us into their house. They fed us, they clothed us, and you murdered their only son? We got to get out of here. We're going to be prosecuted for this. And for some reason, the guy keeps traveling with them. So the two keep going. And they come to a nicer house, a big house. And the man who lives in this nice house is somewhat wealthy. He's moderately wealthy. And he's very, very mean. And he's very just vindictive and cruel. And he's not particularly nice at all to the travelers. And everything in his house is sort of perfectly maintained because he's got money, except for one wall, which is falling apart. And what the mysterious traveler does is he gives the mean, evil man money to fix the wall. He says, "Use this money to fix your wall because you have a very nice house, and you just need to fix up that one wall. So take this money, use it for that." And then they leave. And the mysterious traveler, or not the mysterious, the normal traveler goes, "What is going on? Those first two couples, so nice, so pleasant, and you take everything from them. And then the last guy, he's so mean and he's so cruel, and you give him money to fix up his house? I got to understand this, man. Otherwise, I'm going to turn you into the police or something. I can't walk with you anymore." Yeah, the guy doing these things in the story is super based. And you're right, he is super based, because this is why. The mysterious traveler says, "You want to know why I did all those things? Of course I do. it's because I'm an angel sent by the Lord. And the guy goes, okay. I mean, what? So, okay, so you're based because you're an angel, but why did you do those things? He says, well, the first family, they were very nice people. They were very righteous, but they had one sin which they had never repented for. They stole a very beautiful silver platter and they idolized it. They made it an idol unto them. So I threw it out, and now they're going to repent of stealing the plate, and they will no longer idolize it. And the traveler goes, okay, that makes sense. That actually adds up. But there's no way you can explain the second family. Why did you murder their son? And he says, well, you're right. That second family was very good and righteous, but their son was going down a dark path. He was becoming more and more embittered and more sinful that we couldn't see. Well, that you couldn't see. And if he had been allowed to live for one more day, he would have committed a sin which would have made it impossible for him to be saved. And he would have gone a darker and darker path. So the son was murdered for his own salvation. And the guy goes, okay, I mean, that is hard to swallow. But if it's for his eternal salvation, that makes sense. I can understand it even if I can't really understand it, right? The third guy, though, I mean, he is just the worst. So why did you give him money? He says, well, you're right. That man was a very cruel and vindictive and manipulative person who had money. And he used his money to subjugate and oppress the villagers, the poor villagers in his town. He used all his money to oppress them and subjugate them. Now, what he didn't know is that his family had hidden a treasure in that wall, behind that wall. And if he had torn down the wall and found the treasure, he would have had even more money to oppress and harm and manipulate the poor villagers. So I gave him the money to fix up the wall so he couldn't oppress the villagers. And the moral of the story is, God's ways are not your ways. God's thoughts are not your thoughts. God's actions are not your thoughts. What God does, he does for good reasons, no matter what it is. And so the second part of that story is exactly the question you asked me. What if you know they'll sin more if you prevent them from ending it? Only God knows that. I don't know that. If God chooses to take his life, then he'll take it. If God doesn't, then the assumption is that they have more time for their salvation, more time to become holy. So, moral of the story, tell someone you're an angel to do whatever you want. I'm just going to assume he actually is an angel in the context of the story, but true. I mean, there is a dark twist you could say that he wasn't an angel. Then you could just do whatever you want. So anyway, that's exactly the question you asked me. Only God knows when it's time to take someone and when it's time to do either to permit or allow or even enact some kind of suffering for people's salvation, or when to allow bad people good things for the protection of the others that they will not now be able to oppress or whatever. That's my favorite story that I've heard recently. But what if God tells you, you know for a fact that the guy will do worse sins unless he ends it? I would never trust that God was telling me that. I would think that that was a demon. I don't know how. I mean, I guess this is kind of like the hypothetical with the fetus and stuff. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, okay, so I know for sure that God is telling me this, then yeah, of course I'm going to do whatever God tells me to do. Or is it something where I just hear a voice? It's like, kill that guy. He's going to sin more. No, I'm not going to do it. I mean, that wouldn't even sound like God. That would sound like a demon. So, yeah. I mean, if what you're asking is essentially, what if God allows him to take his life or God takes his life or something like that? Then no, of course I don't have a problem with what God chooses to do. Certainly not. But the hypothetical, I think, is kind of impossible. It's kind of like a trolley problem. So that's probably how I respond to that. if the question isn't said, what if God knows that they'll sin more if he prevents, or if he's prevented from ending it? Well, then there's nothing that's going to get in the way of God taking that person's soul or that life. And would I have a problem with it? No, of course not. Would God choose suicide as an option for that? I don't think so, because he gives us free will. And so a free will decision, while it can be in a line with God's providence, I don't think it's quite the same. Okay, wait, God gives you the choice and the knowledge. So now I have to assassinate the guy? I mean, sure. I mean, right, that's the only thing I can say to a hypothetical like that, I guess, right? An impossible hypothetical that nobody truly knows what kind. I truly can't even imagine what kind of situation that would be, right? That's like, so that's kind of like asking me, like, well, if God made you a dinosaur, would you eat velociraptors? Like, God made you a T-Rex, would you eat velociraptors or would you eat stegosauruses? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he would give me the appetite for whichever one he desired me to eat, right? I don't know. I really don't know.
I think to some degree a lot of Christians take away their own ability to have their own moral compass outside of Jesus. Everything we do is for Jesus, though.
Why would you want your own moral compass outside of Jesus?
As preachers should do, I do think you guys should have a level of autonomy outside of Jesus Christ.
So, to explain that, because I mean that is the reason I come out here with this sign, is to in holding my worldview consistently. I believe that the reason abortion is wrong and the reason why I'm opposing it is because I believe it violates the law of God. I believe the law of God is our foundation of morality. So that would make abortion a sin.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, human. That's why I'm not answering straightforwardly, because that's what those hypotheticals always are. Like, especially, and let's take it away from yours and bring it back to the fetus one. It's always trying to get the person to say the opposite of their actual opinion by forcing them with like a vice grip into this box. That's what the Trollite problem is as well. Kind of. I mean, it's a little different, but what those impossible hypotheticals are is always saying, oh, you believe this? Well, what if I wordplay you into not believing that in this one specific instance? It's like, okay, fine. GG. Like, success. Okay. Shake your hand. You did it. Congratulations. Now, how does that refute my actual view? Yeah, you keep tweaking the scenario until they say what you want them to say. Yeah, it's a conversational, like, judo flip. And it does nothing to the actual argument or the actual view or the consistency of the view within a paradigm or anything like that. And it's just like judo flips someone's own words into what you want them to say, which is the most heinous type of hypothetical, right? So aggressive and unnecessary.
And so because abortion's a sin, it separates us from God. And now God has given us a way to have reconciliation with him, that sin no longer separates us and we can have atonement for that. So that is the gospel of Jesus Christ. The gospel of Jesus Christ is the solution to sin. So when I'm coming out here from my worldview and I'm looking at what I believe is a problem of sin in our country, if I come at it from a secular worldview, I am betraying my own beliefs and saying, well, this doesn't actually, like, I can solve this problem apart from the solution that God gave us. Because Jesus said, I'm the only way to, like, no man comes to the Father but by me. That's what Jesus said, and I believe him. So
See, that's interesting. That's an interesting take. That is a refutation indirectly of what I was saying, that you can use secular arguments, even if your real position is the Christian one. But this is what I'll say to that. I think it could be a both and. The Christian perspective could be the most simple, straightforward, and valuable tool to fight against the sin of abortion. And maybe, well, I see what he's saying. It does sort of betray your faith in Christ if you have to rely on a secular argument. That's why maybe I shouldn't be relying on a secular argument. I think maybe it still could be good to have in your toolbox, but then say, use it, and then say, but listen, you want to know the real reason? You want to know the real reason? And then go to the gospel and go to the Bible. I think that would probably be the way to do it. So I like this, kid. I understand that. Okay, peace, human. It was great. Take care. This was a fun stream. Very fun. I think this would be a good place for me to call it anyway, because that's exactly 4. So good stuff today, everybody. Very fun. Appreciated having all of you and having this fun discussion. A little more serious than my Friday stream, but Fridays are just going to be goofy and weird and strange. We're going to get back to mad guy antics. And this was a more, head on our shoulders type of one, which I appreciate always. And I appreciate you guys. Like and follow and subscribe, of course, for more. Thank you. Appreciate you.